Hello? Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, everybody tuning in. If you can hear us, let it be known.
Let me see.
I'm looking at the screen right now. Everything looks good. Took me a little bit of time, but looks good. Whoopsie.
Okay. Let's
Yeah, it looks good. Everything looks good. Let me see. Can y'all hear us? Who's tuning in? Dan, I'm hearing audio. I tried to double check to get it right. I tried. Just let me know once again. Are we good? Can y'all hear us?
check. Let me check.
I got this open. I'm not even. Okay, I can hear myself. Let me see if I can hear you, Marcus. Just let me know once again. Are we good?
I can hear it on screen. On live stream, I should say.
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, we should be fine. All right. So, of course, Mr. Amazing and Jada Nick still on here. No surprise. You know, always show up late to the damn building, but
Of
it's time.
course.
It's of course right. It's time to get the ball rolling. So I'll ask them whatever questions I have once if and when they get here. But Marcus Holloway is in the house. You know, we got permission. We got the three-way deadlock graphics in the background going off. Welcome to episode 3, continued of City of Impact. This is the third installment of this same episode. I'm going to hell. And so we're looking to conclude it today. The last time we was on this show, and welcome everybody who's tuning in, by the way. The last time we was on this show, uh, we had a bit of communication issues, and I wound up getting kicked out. I went back and I was listening to it, and I thought the shows were pretty good that we did. You know, it was just unfortunate that we had so many audio issues. And I put an X on around the question that I was asking uh, Nick's about, because I was talking to him about his match with Adam Styles that he had, and then uh, after that, I had put a X and was going to leave it at that because I felt like it had been going on for too long. So I had decided to try to correct things the right way, and Nix and Marcus had taken over, which I appreciate that, and that you guys was able to take over like that and look out for me. So I wanted to thank y'all for that. But I got a couple of questions here just to wrap up the.
Um,
You with me? What's
Good
up?
evening.
Oh shit, Nix is here. I thought that was you. I was about to say, damn, your voice got deep, Marcus. But welcome to the show, Jada Nix in the house.
Hope
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not too late. Stuck in traffic.
How are you stuck in
Those-
traffic? I brought you
Shut
here.
up, Marcus.
I
Stuck in
brought you
trip.
here.
You didn't bring me here.
I
I
brought you
had.
here.
No, you didn't. You
We
left me
rode
at. You
in the
left me
same
at the
car.
house. You left me. You left me at the apartment. Okay. Shut
No,
up.
I left you in the locker room.
First of all,
Talking about I left you at the house.
you did. You did.
The lies you
You must have
tell.
been talking about Devontae, but you wasn't talking about me.
You know Devontae ride on his own. You already know that man always late.
And where he at now? Not here.
And not here because we rode with
Okay,
each
you know
other.
what?
He rides by himself.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. It's but the
Let's
show.
not go there.
Let's not go there. Yeah, let's not go there. Like I said.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me.
How are you late to a podcast that I brought you to? It don't make no sense.
First of all, you didn't give me the right room number or the door number. You just left. So you always leave.
My bad. Next.
Who the hell is Keeb?
Next. You
Cheating
were
on me again.
following
Cheating
me.
on me versus Vardy. Now this guy named Keeb. Who the fuck you cheating on me with now?
Ouch. We're definitely getting kicked off the air.
Who am I cheating on you with? No, I know you ain't talking when you be cheating on me with HOLLOWAY.
Here you go. Here you go.
Mr.
Here you
Tag
go.
Team
Here you
Champions.
go.
Two tag
I
team
knew you was
titles with
gonna go
them.
there.
Where's our tag team
I knew you
titles,
was gonna
Nick?
go there. Why you have to keep bringing them up?
Where's our tag team titles, Nick? Huh? How come we not tag team champions?
First of all, what I do outside of the big brand show got nothing to do with you. I told you to come along with me on the road trips, but no, did you want
Why
to?
would I want to come with you? Good.
See. That's why you miss out on opportunity. See?
I'd rather be
It could have
here
been
than
me
over
and
there.
you. It could have been me and you, but no.
It was me and you until they started fighting like trash over there. So
See that? You see that? See that? They are good. See that?
All right.
You know, I like real competition, not that trash that you like to fight.
Oh my God. It's all about it. Always be all about you, huh? Can there be nothing about nobody else, huh?
All about me? Who posts some more photos? Because you be talking about yourself more than anybody here.
It sounds like
I'm quiet on social media.
Don't you bring my photos into this? I haven't been this hot since the steel chair, not steel chair, but steel steps incident.
Oh, you mean with
you don't bring that man up in here.
You're right. My bad.
And let's be honest. You're only hot because you're a dangerous worker to everybody else around you. Like, did you not see what you did to New Jack all them years ago?
Oh man,
man too.
I was watching that the other day.
What I did to Sandman and New Jack? Did you not see what you did to Mark Bannon?
Oh man,
see that?
Y'all can still hear me.
Go there. You didn't have to go there. He had look. Mark Bannon had it coming. Okay,
Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you. I
Okay.
can hear you. Mark Bannon thought he was cute. He thought he was gonna tap me out. I told him, crank it if you want to. And guess what? The moment I got that submission, I tapped his ass out. Hey, but sometimes I lose sight of myself, you know. Sometimes I gotta show him a little humble pie. But I wasn't in control at that
right,
time.
we gotta get this show on the road. Come on. Let's go. We gotta get the show on the road.
Lead the way.
Oh, y'all ready?
Oh,
y'all ready now?
Oh,
y'all got it out y'all system? Okay.
Even though he started it, leaving me in the locker room.
I'd like to welcome y'all to the show. Hopefully, Mr. Amazing will be here for this three-way deadlock. This is the final part of y'all episode, City of Impact episode 3. I appreciate y'all being here. I wasn't sure if this was going to happen or not. But hey, man, I got 2 out of 3 here. And it's good to hear from y'all.
Us 2 are the irrelevant ones, just saying.
I'm going to leave that one alone and let you handle the rest. But I do appreciate the time. I appreciate y'all coming through. And I hope everything has been good for y'all. I would imagine y'all been hella busy. So let's see if we could put this thing together and have some fun. I still have some questions left from the other time that I didn't get to finish. I was telling Marcus before you got here that I want to thank you. You guys held it down when I was having audio issues on the last one, and I really appreciated that. So Appreciate that. And sorry about the mechanical issues, but we'll be more than good on this one. I got the screen fixed up. I got some of y'all graphic up there, so we good. We just got to get the ball rolling, and hopefully, you can get out of traffic so you can be much more comfortable during this chat. So let's see. Um, y'all can still hear me. Comment section can still hear me. Yes,
I believe they can. I believe they
I hope.
can.
So, hey, man, make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, smash that thumbs up, and drop your comments. Whatever questions you might have, you can start popping them up in that live chat section if you want. Start popping them comments up, questions up, whatever you might have. Feel free. And if anything pops up along the way, when these gentlemen start giving you insight to the questions, then feel free to ask whatever other questions you might have. So
I think my words from the last podcast may have touched a few hearts, because if you look at how many people are on here, there are a total of 8 people
we
versus only
started.
like 1 or 2.
It shot up. It shot up to like 11 or 12, but it's always timing with JTV. I did go back and listen to that part, by the way, and I appreciate everything that you said, just like I told you the last time. But yeah, this thing is timing. There's going to be times when people got stuff going on, and you're going to get a couple people tuning in, and then there's going to be other times where you'll be able to catch a good amount of people. You know what I mean? You got Chris Conscience, you got Mark, you got Russ Walker, you got quite a few people in that comment section. So we get the ball rolling, and let's just have some fun with this and see where we go. The last time, one of the last questions that I had asked, I had asked you next about your match that you had with Adam Styles, and we had broke down the detail of how you felt about him, type of worker he was, and whatnot. And I want to go ahead and turn my attention to another date and time. And when this is done, I'm going to paste these things together. So God bless who's going to put the time into watching all 3 parts together. But I'm sure it'll be a good listen, especially if you got long road trips. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't think of anything better in the world than for you to be driving somewhere for like 9 hours and get to listen to that wonderful voice of JAYDEN. I mean, that is a voice of an angel, voice of heaven right there. So
I
my
wouldn't
next
say
one,
all that now.
my next one, I'm gonna throw a date at you like I've been doing in the other videos, and uh, the date I'm gonna throw at you is October 31st of 2021. Pumpkin Night. You had an opportunity to work with a great talent, great up and coming superstar, you know, one half of the world tag team champions, obviously the brothers in arms. You guys, both of you guys have a little bit of history with them guys. They've beaten y'all have beaten them back, episodes of JTV 19, which, those are classic matches. And, but you got an opportunity to work with Ryan Seal in a 1v1 exhibition match at Pumpkin Night. And, I should say Snow Showdown. It was Snow Showdown. I got my dates wrong. It was January 1st of 22. You got to work with him at Snow Showdown for Christmas. It was a late Christmas going into New Year. It was more of a New Year show rather than a Christmas show, but it doesn't change or diminish the value of that match. You guys had a banger. He was dressed up like an elf. I think he was dressed up as a Kuma, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. And I felt like you guys had a good back and forth, a good mechanical match, a banger, if you will. And I just
I
wanted
don't
to
think
get.
I don't think I was dressed up as a Kuma. That was against Matt Dagger.
Oh, was it?
Yes. So when I dressed up as a Kuma was against Matt Dagger, and that was 2022.
Okay.
I believe.
Well,
I want to say I believe that. Yeah, 2022.
I'm off with it. I'm off with it. And if it was Snow Showdown, chances are probably wasn't dressed. I mean, I remember him dressing like an elf or some shit like that, but it could have been the Halloween show that I'm mixing up. But you guys still had a great wrestling match, and I just wanted to get your insight as to your thoughts on him as a talent, as a wrestler, and what do you remember about that match?
Uh, to be honestly, I don't remember much about that match, but I don't even know what was the outcome or the results. I might have to go back and look back.
You beat him. You defeated him in that match
Oh
for
yeah.
Snow Showdown. So I just wanted to
What
get your
I
point.
rem what
Yeah.
I guess you could say what I remember is not the outcome, but the feeling of that match. Going into that match, as like I said last podcast, it was my kind of my way back to getting involved with JTV, and I would say that that match was great. I mean,
Yeah.
I fought Ryan Seal even outside of JTV countless times.
Right.
I mean, I even fought him recently in a show called not recently like this year recently, but recently as in like the ending of last year, I fought him and one of his cousins in a tag team match for a league called what was it called? Let me
Is it
get my
RSD or some shit like that?
not RSD.
There he go with
Let
his
me see if I
leads.
can get it. Let me see if I can get it.
There he go with his
It
leads.
was
He's
called
connecting
DD. It was referred to as DDW.
that.
I fought them over there in DDW, and
DDW.
yes, DDW.
Who
Don't know
runs
what that
DDW?
stands for, but it stands for something. But DDW is a little, kind of like a pops and moms shop style wrestling industry
Okay.
ran by a guy who don't know how to book all that often, but he had something right. He booked both me and Ryan Seal and a tag team partner of my own, his tag partner, and we went to war over there. So
Mm.
I don't put nothing past Ryan Seal. Ryan Seal is a phenomenal talent.
Right.
Him and his brother have held the tag team champions for just the amount of time that I've been
There
here.
you go. Oh,
So it's it's honestly I say they're the greatest tag team for now. Yes, for now. Greatest tag team for now.
Right.
But I'm looking to step in the ring with Ryan Seal again. That's my honest thoughts. I'm looking to step in the ring with them.
I like his motion in the ring. I like how he moves, and I'm glad I got to work with him a little bit. Um, and I think he's fantastic. I think that there might be people who might have opinions on him who know him differently from different leagues, different promotions, or have a different experience with him. But me personally, I got nothing but respect for the guy. Great experience with him. Ever since we started working together, and his family's great. I'm happy to have his family competing in JTV, and the boys they do their thing, and they're thirsty for blood, and they're always ready to go, and they never miss a shot, and they got championship gold to prove it, and that speaks volumes. And that can be the same for you guys, and that can be the same for any tag team that's willing to step up in JTV. And by that token, we're talking about Ryan Seal. Ryan Seal, in my opinion, is just a future world champion waiting to happen. I think that guy is a workhorse, and I remember when he took the initiative to be able to start doing his shit by himself in JTV 19. With all the
Mhm.
respect in the world to Maddie, all the love in the world to him. But, Ryan was the first one from the family who truly stepped up by himself and started having singles matches on JTV 19. He took advantage of the situation and went in there and swam with all of you sharks deep in the sea. And I've always respected that about him. And I felt like he's worked hard since day one. Um, and he's just he's a tough competitor in that ring for sure. I that's from experience, and that's from what I've seen. His psychology in the ring. He doesn't have to say anything on the microphone. There's wrestling fans that they have this idea in their head that, especially now, it's wrestling now is much different than obviously it was in the past. But it's like there's a lot of people who feel like every single wrestler has to talk and be able to do everything. And it's not true. Not every wrestler always has to talk. You can have a wrestler that just looks at you, and just with that look, that character presentation, that person said a million things without saying one word. And I think that Ryan is one of those guys that he doesn't really have to get on the microphone. I mean, we've heard him on the microphone,
Mhm.
and he can do his thing, but just what he does in the ring, it just speaks louder than everything else that he can possibly put into words, and sometimes, and you guys will back me on this, that sometimes it's better for a wrestler to just shut the hell up and just wrestle, and you don't really want to hear them. They're great talent, but you don't want to hear them. Their time on the microphone is not their strong suit. It's what they do in the ring that pays off for them. And not saying Ryan isn't that guy, just saying that what Ryan does in the ring speaks so loud that he doesn't have to say a word. That's what I'm trying to say. So a lot of respect for the guy. I think he's talented. I think he's great. I think he keeps doing his thing. He'll be, if not a world champion, a great singles champion at some point in time. With all the respect and backing the value of what he represents in the Brothers in Arms, what he stands for, and how he feels about the group. Because that tag team, ever since they came into JTV, they've done their shit.
Mhm.
You guys from experience and the wrestlers from JTV that are listening to this, and whomever else might just come across this that's trying to learn about JTV, who's a fan, would understand and know that there's been a handful of people who have come to JTV and talked about it, but were never about it. They said they were going to do this, they said they were that, and as time went on, the time reveals all truth, and with the Brothers in Arms and Ryan Seal, who we're talking about specifically, that guy, what time has told us is that he just gets better and better every season, every year. So in 2K24, I think he's going to have a fantastic season. He's been, like I said, he's been doing his thing. I'm looking forward to seeing more of him and his family, his brother in the ring. That's from Kevin Impact, and we've heard Jayden Nix's side.
Mhm.
I'll give you guys. I'm going to give the comment section a bonus and do something that I don't normally do. I'll try something different. I'm going to ask Marcus. Amazing's not here yet, right?
Nope.
I'm gonna ask Marcus if he wants to chime in on what we're talking about. Maybe he has an opinion about Ryan Seal. How about that?
I can't disagree with y'all because I've had my own singles match with Ryan Seal, and
Okay.
dude is a hard person to fight. I think the first time I actually had a singles match with him, he tapped me out, and it was
Yeah.
like it was a at least a 7 to 8 minute match back on 2K19, and we fought our ass off, but that man tapped me out quickly. I can't disagree because
Well,
that good God.
another thing I like about him is that it's just like I said. These league guys, no pun intended. I'm lying, pun intended. This is Kevin Impact. Come on now. Um, it's a lot of talent that come here to wrestle, and they come in. It's some E-Fed guys that come in. Um, and they try to bring that style here and whatnot, and there's people that apply themselves to JTV accordingly, and then there's people who think they could just come here and just pull their shit out, put it on the table, and just throw their weight around. And it's like that's not how this shit works. You know what I mean? Like this is really about the art form we've created, this environment that it's almost like a comic book come to life. It's almost like you're a teenager or a kid and you're just reading the comic book. You're looking inside of it, and then you kind of doze off for a moment and start daydreaming. And it's like all these characters you're reading about, they become realistic, and then they're in front of you and then they're alive. That's y'all can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the shit that happened to me. Sorry, YouTube. I'll try to watch my language. That's the thing that happened to me when after a while I took myself back and I started looking around. And I'm like, oh shit. and somebody who did start JTV with me is in the comment section listening to this actually. But we'll hear about that person later on. I promise you. But the thing is, um, when I saw JTV, like, me and him, we used to record the shit on VHS, you know, and coming from VHS and then transition into the online world, I went through my own phase where it's like, okay, like it's almost weird because it's like this used to be something we used to play, something we used to just do ourselves on the weekend, and then it's alive now. It breathes. It's not the game anymore. Now it breathes. Now, you know, Marcus Holloway is a real person. Jayden Nix is a real person. Mr. Amazing is a real person. They exist and they can talk and they have an opinion and they have, you know, that it's alive. It's almost like the Chucky thing where he was trying to put his soul, take it. Well, I guess he was trying to take his soul out of the doll and go into the person, but vice versa. You know what I mean? So Ryan and Maddie was able to come into JTV as league guys, presumably with a league mentality, and to be able to respectfully apply themselves to the pro wrestling circuit style. We are the only pro wrestling circuit in CAW. Don't mistake in that. But they came in and it was just like I don't know from your experience, but from my experience, they came in and it wasn't like a we're better than you attitude. They had this respectful workhorse, what do you need us to do mindset that has brought them to success, in my opinion. And that's I think why they managed to become the tag team champions. They did their shit, and they've been proven to as many people as possible that they truly are the brothers in arms. They're not just some relic tag team from JTV's past that came in for a few matches and then just decided to quit because there wasn't enough clouds in the sky, or they ran out of toilet paper, or you know uh, or was just toxic. You know what I mean? Demanding shit. They went through the system. They busted their ass. They've proven themselves. And in JTV, you get respect for that type of shit. You know what I mean? So much props to Ryan Seal. If y'all don't have nothing else to add on that, I will move on to my next question. And if y'all have any questions in the comment section, feel free to throw it at us. One of y'all had something to say?
I'm good.
Oh no, I'm great. I'm great. I'm just listening.
Okay. All right. I might take a call from Chris Conscience. He's not going to be able to hear y'all. Well, he'll be able to hear y'all he'll be able to hear y'all on YouTube. So that's how he'll be able to do it. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that, but he wanted to ask a question. He was trying to call me. So I've asked him if he can type it in to the live chat section. If he can't do it, then I'll make sure that he gets his question answered. So definitely keep it in mind, Conscience. But let's keep
Write
the
it
ball.
down or something.
Yeah, let's keep the ball rolling. I'm looking at the comment section area. I don't see any questions yet. Pro wrestling.
Don't be shy. Ask all the questions y'all want. Don't be shy now.
All right. So rolling on to the next one. Next question is going to go to Marcus Holloway. So here's an interesting one. Back in October of 22, October 21st of 22, Next Gen episode 40, Mexico City, Marcus Holloway defeats Johnny Franchise. Now, Johnny Francis. And
Johnny Francis.
I wanted to get your take on it. If you remember, I wanted to get your thoughts on him as I guess a person and as a talent. So take it away.
As a talent, I think franchise or Francois, he's very good. Personally, I don't know him like that.
Yeah,
Never really talked with him.
yeah.
Uh, never really had time to chill with him, but fighting him in that one, well, I've had a couple matches with him now. Fighting him in a couple matches that I probably had with him, I think he's proven that he's a good wrestler because going into that match that I have with him, not really knowing much, knowing that he was an old member of JTV,
Yeah.
but never really seeing his matches, I thought it was gonna be way easier than what it
Franchise
was.
Francis is from your time though. He's from your time. He came in 16 and he did his shit for a little bit and then he just kind of split and we lost
The thing
contact.
is, I had never saw his matches,
Yeah,
never saw
yeah.
any of his matches.
I mean, at 16, JTV was kind of simulated in 16. But he had maybe like two matches, I want to say, and it was a simulation environment, but his character was still in JTV. He still did his thing, and I mean, when he came back, obviously was when he started like really, really focusing. But I think I want to say that when he did wrestle in JTV before he left the first time, I don't think he was simulated. Now I remember him having matches. I might be wrong about that. You might have to look back to Next Gen in 2016, but I remember something about him having matches and then when he came back, he stepped up. Um, and I don't want to cut you off. I want to hear what you have to say. I just wanted to put that in there just to make sure. So let me let you go ahead, and then I'll give my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, going into that match, like usually with all my matches, I usually think that I try not to be too in my own head of thinking I could easily beat this person.
Yeah,
This dude ain't gonna be, he ain't gonna give me the challenge that I'm looking for. And
yeah,
with most of my matches, I'm usually surprised because some people are usually better than I usually think they are.
right.
Especially since I've never really fought him before, and he surprised me in that match. Especially with me calling him out, and I didn't really think he was gonna show up,
Yeah.
but he stepped up to the challenge and he gave me a hell of a fight.
Hmm. I'm a big fan of that Mexico City arena on 2K. I think it's a gorgeous venue, and I think that that's what we should shoot more for in wrestling rather than a typical generic basic ass screen. And of course, I'm not trying to have anybody come after me. I know that we got a lot of sensitive people, and I'm very offensive, but I speak my mind. It's the generic screen with the same thing over and over is just for me it's boring. I'm spoiled. I'm used to the wrestling arenas that it's in the beach or you got like a pool next to ringside or something. You know what I mean? So that's just me in my own personal opinion. But yeah. Uh, any thoughts on that, Nix, that you want to chime in on?
We just I'm still stuck on why he's called Francis.
I mean, he's trying to be more extravagant. I guess he's trying to he
Extravagant.
he's
I
trying to
thought franchise was extravagant.
he,
Francis?
he's trying to figure himself out. And I think we all went through that. And there's hit and miss. I'm sure that if Francis doesn't work
What's
for him,
next? Johnny Francois?
I think that if Francis doesn't work for him, I'm sure he'll jump right back to franchise. Whatever works. I'm starting to think that franchise work best. But we'll see.
Yeah, franchise is definitely the name that he should go by, not Francis or Francois
Let
or
him by
Frankie.
what he wants to go by.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
I'm with Marcus, but I mean, I love opinions, and I think it's great that you put that out there. It's all about improvements, and in wrestling, you always want to find the best part of yourself. When I was looking for Kevin Impact, I didn't find him overnight. It took me quite a while before I figured out exactly who I was and what I can do. So, you just keep learning. It's the process of continuous growth until you either reach a max level or you get to this max level to where you realize there's another level above you. And once you get to those critical levels, it's very hard for somebody who's basic and generic and trying to watch my mouth, just horrible at what they do to try to step up to somebody like you. You know what I mean? When you've got that talent and you could talk it, you could walk it, and you look the part, it's hard because you got people who do this who either don't have the ability to obtain a new perk in their abilities, or you have someone who is just has no business being in the line of work of what we do in CW wrestling. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and we probably might get into that if Mr. Amazing doesn't show up. He's still not in here, I'm assuming, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay,
He's just
so
like my father. Never shows up when we need him.
okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. I mean, what are you talking about? I'm right here. I ain't never left your side. But why
Mr.
don't
Amazing said he's gonna bring the milk. I'm like, where's the milk? He's not here with the milk.
what the hell? Why would he bring milk? What the hell?
Black fathers, they leave to go get milk and never come back.
I don't believe that. Uh,
Shit.
who wrote that? Johnny Franchise wrote that?
No.
Might have, you
The
never
black
know.
coach, the black deadbeat fathers of this world wrote that. They made that.
All right. Well, let me switch back to the topic at hand. Franchise or Francis, he
Francois,
this is what I'm gonna throw.
Uh,
This is what I'm gonna throw at y'all.
Francesca.
This is what I'm gonna throw at y'all about him. Um, he he's been a very standard, generic guy for a long time. And you guys would agree with me. Um, I'm not picking on the guy or nothing. The kid has been looking for himself for quite some time, but I mean he's always had just a really disconnected visual to him. It's what he does in the ring has protected him for years. Same for Troy Jackson. I'm sorry for bringing him up, Marcus, but
Ew.
Troy and Francis is like they're kind of the same. Only difference is that Francis can talk when he wants to.
And Francis doesn't spam, but that's a different story.
I mean, I've seen matches. You know what I mean? I remember Shendon being upset because he was in a tag in which his streak ended the first time, when he was tag teaming. And I remember that it wasn't shown on the show, actually. So y'all didn't know about it, but there was some spamming going on. I remember he came to me and told me about it, and whatnot. And he was trying to put that towards, I'm sorry, I got a loud ass helicopter flying over me. Oh, shit.
It's YouTube. I told you. YouTube's on to you.
So, damn, that thing flew right over. But the thing is, yeah, like he's had that disconnect with just the way he looks. He can talk and he can work, but just the way he's looked has always been something very frustrating for me over the years. Um, I've not stepped in to talk with him properly because he was growing, and I was waiting to see if he was going to morph into something. You wait for a caterpillar to blossom, if you will, grow into a butterfly. It's almost like the Pokemon thing, and there hasn't been growth with that, like, right. There hasn't been growth with that, like how I expected. So we had a few chats and stuff like that. So I think the Johnny Francis repackaging is going to be something that's going to help him out, depending on where we go with it. But it's been very frustrating as a fan for me, from my perspective, for the longest time to see just the standard tights, the standard look. Like he had that default guy look for a long time. And the first time he split, he was smart enough to recognize that he had made a mistake and he had to get back. And when he got back, I didn't expect him to last. I thought he was just going to quit again. I had no reason to believe that he was going to go on to accomplish anything. You know, all the respects to Francis, he went on and he was able to win that television championship at Vendetta in Kuwait. And I felt very proud of him when that happened, when he was able to accomplish that, because it cemented his career. Because I didn't think, like I said, he was going to stick around. I saw him just maybe being around a couple of weeks and maybe losing a match or winning a match, and then he's just gone, you know. And then it's just like he just hasn't left ever since he came back. He's been doing this thing. I think he was re-signed like 17 or either 20. No, it couldn't have been 17. It was probably like 19, 18 to 19. I got that helicopter over me again. They're
So,
looking for they're looking for Luke Welch. So
YouTube police.
yeah. So you had, like I said, he did his thing for a couple of years when he got re-signed. And I just thought it wasn't just gonna go anywhere. And this guy's working his way up. He's just been working his way up. He got that total championship. He may have lost it, and then he kind of had like a downtime, but it's just like he's still working. He's managed to get in the ring with Marcus and Shen and a bunch of people that it looks really good on his resume to be able to, compete. And which, by the way, update. I'm almost done with the new website that's going to be full of as many JTV encyclopedia as I could possibly type up. So hopefully y'all appreciate that. And it'll be a nice place to go to read about JTV, about everybody's like career achievements and whatnot. And it's gonna keep getting updated, But yeah, so look out for that soon. It's gonna look real good on Francis with everything that's on his profile. Oh, here comes the helicopter again. I think I hear it. So I apologize about that. Yeah, I see it. That shit is trembling the window. So um yeah, I mean it's New York, baby. But yeah, like I think that he has the talent to be able to get to the level of a lot of where a lot of you guys are at, the real JTV ones. And I see him having a successful season this season in 2K24, and I think everything will work out for him if he keeps doing his shit. I'm gonna be working closely with him to help him out. Um, just so there's not so much frustration with that character as we've seen in the past. As you know, not nothing bad about him. That's my job as the admin of JTV to help the talent, become and give somebody a nice swift kick in the ass if they don't have, they're missing certain parts. So I think that me working together with him closely this time, rather than just letting him do his own thing, it's going to be better. And a lot of talent, that happens. Some talent need promos, and some people just are able to talk. You know, he's in between both. I think. He can talk, but he can still use a little bit of guidance. Not saying that I'm perfect, just saying that I've had experience, so I think that there are people who believe I'm good at it. That's my point. So I try to give my part to improve. And I think that he's gonna be fine. I think that he just gotta do his thing. Um Sometimes I gotta think of certain shows and think, what am I saying? Because I don't want to spoil anything. But I think we obviously saw the union between him and Russ. What they had put together this screw job on Cruz on the last Next Gen, and that's one of my favorite Next Gens that I've ever seen. Next Gen has been down for a bit, but it's back on the come up, I promise. And it's going to be up there. Next Gen, I think it's a helicopter again. That helicopter, I guess, wants to be on Next Gen. So that damn helicopter is doing circles. So, anyways, hopefully y'all can still hear me. But anyways,
I hear you.
um, yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna be fine. He just got to keep on doing his thing. I think he's a fantastic talent. I think that he was able to apply himself just like Ryan and the brothers in arms. He came in, changed his attitude, which is important, and managed to win a lot of big matches, managed to do a lot of big things thus far. But the sky's the limit. I think that you got the World Television Championship on your resume, but you can go higher than that. You got more things. And now with this union of him and Russ Walker, there's just no telling what can happen. Russ has proven in the past time and time again to be a great voice piece, to be a great manager in JTV, and he's another person for a different topic, different conversation. But he's been doing his thing for a while, and I think that them together, I think it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see because obviously Gorilla Cruz is going to want revenge. So obviously we're teasing and moving into that Gorilla Cruz, um, Johnny franchise, type of rematch. And I thought that was some of my favorite matches that he had on JTV. I thought him and Gorilla Cruz really put a good match together, which you'd be surprised because those guys are the big guys, and a lot of the big guys don't really do the whole technical 5-star match type of stuff. The big guys, like in this case Troy. This is the reason why he leaves a bad taste in some people's mouths. The big guys usually just have a really standard style: boot, clothesline, power bomb, power slam, maybe an atomic drop, maybe a toss. Like a snake eyes. A lot of the big guys just stick to the same stuff, and they don't really work. And for franchise to come up, because he went from being like a light heavyweight to a heavyweight now, overweight, and then you got Gorilla Cruz who's heavyweight, them going at it and having a match like that, I think it indicates how talented they are. So for me to franchise, I think he's on the come up, and I think he's doing great, and I think he's going to do even better. So excuse me for going off too much, but I had to get that together just to make sure. Okay. So Mr. Amazing is still not here, no?
Nope, he's not here yet.
Because it's
I
almost
think
time
he's
for his
pulling
question.
into the building soon.
All right. So what do we got? Oh, the next one is for you, Nix. Maybe you have some stories about this match. Let's see. So
Yeah.
the next thing I got for you takes me to Christmas Day 22, December 25th of 22, JTV Snow Showdown. We had a three-way match. Uh, it was yourself, it was Mark Bennett, and it was Cerberus. And I was just looking at the highlights to this. This is the one we did in that LA arena, and when I was watching this the other day, it refreshed my memory, and I had forgotten how the motion of that match went, and it was just intense. It was just like quick pace, ladders, and all kinds of shit, and it really turned into a scientific match, which that's another interesting thing. I talked about how big guys at times don't work well together, and sometimes not every three-way dance match, works well together. But it seemed like Cerberus, Mark Bennett, and yourself, those are three styles that gelled together really good because you had a big guy, and you just went into like this heavyweight phase as you went into fighting Shending. You just started bulking up because your guy used to be a little bit more lighter and you started bulking up. But at the time, you was a little lighter. And so you basically have Mark's cruiserweight, light heavyweight type of quick pace style mixed with a technical prowess, and you've had your quick style of motion mixed with a little bit of high flying and a little bit of a martial arts background. Mark had that amateur background, and then you have Cerberus, who is just complete power, and he's another champion. He's walking around with the total championship, and he's been holding on to that thing for quite a while. I had just put up recently on Facebook a lot of these records that that some of these folks are breaking. You know what I mean? And he's been champion for a while. And any thoughts about that match? Any thoughts on Mark Bennett and Cerberus for next?
My thoughts is my thoughts, sir. Mark Bannon was, to me, a guy who has been relatively an easy opponent for me to even face. So we're not going to talk about Mark Bannon. But Cerberus, that man, Cerberus, he definitely has a lot of power. I'll give him that. And kind of the way he has all that power kind of inspired me to kind of get strong, because I knew my light base ability, having just speed on me wasn't going to work anymore. I needed to adapt. So I kind of did bulk up just a bit for that match, but I feel like I could have done a lot more. And unfortunately, I didn't come away with the win. I don't think I did. But Cerberus is a guy that I find myself being challenged by.
Yeah.
Like, I do. Current me, months after beating the King of Legends, would like to want to fight. Would like to want to fight Cerberus. It's not like a need. It's not like a need or a craving. It's just that I would like to fight him again. This time, not a triple threat match, just a normal style 1v1 match to determine who's really better.
Right.
So
you think you could? Do you think you could choke him out like you did the Shin 3 times?
I mean, let's be honest. I don't think. I know I can. It just takes with Cerberus, it takes a different amount of it takes a different amount of pressure to choke a guy like that out. I mean, he has a big neck.
Right.
So you can only imagine how much of my forearm strength will have to just clench in a chokehold, a rear naked choke on that. I'll probably have to sit there for a good while striking the very life out of him for him to tap out or pass out. So, guys with big necks are hard to choke out. So I would definitely have to approach him in a different way. I probably won't just like Matt Dagger, who also has a big neck. His weakness was his legs. He put all that strength into his upper body, but none of it into his lower body.
I remember you choking him out. I remember that.
Matt Dagger?
Yeah.
No, I didn't choke him out. I heel hooked him. I went for his heel. I basically did a heel hook.
I remember like a regal stretch.
Yeah, we might have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I think you put him in a regal stretch. I might be wrong.
It was definitely a heel hook. It was definitely a heel hook.
Okay.
It wasn't. It was a heel hook stretch in a way, because I had him away from the rope. So it was definitely a heel hook, and I found myself a lot easier because to attack his legs. So I'm interested to find out what Cerberus's what's his weaknesses? Is it his arms? Because if it's his arms, I can lock in an arm bar.
Right.
Mora, Americana.
You go with the submission knowledge. There we go.
Americana. Let's see. I wouldn't say an inverted arm bar. That's kind of a Becky Lynch thing. But if it's
wrestling,
But my wrestling is basically attacking your limbs, and I love to attack your limbs. I love to attack your neck. I love to attack whatever part of you that I could get my hands on. But
I'm gonna add something in real quick. As you're talking. I just wanted to say, I'm not the biggest fan of people using like known finishers and shit like that, but I don't see any issue as to why there should be a problem with somebody using a submission. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be big on the idea of just telling everybody, hey, go and use the sharpshooter, go and use the transmission and the Cobra clutch and all that shit, but like I just feel like at the same time, wrestling can only have so many moves, you know, like back in the 90s and back in the early 2000s when we was doing wrestling, it's just like, you know, there came a time later, 95, 96, when they made the so-called new generation of the WWF or whatnot, and the stuff that from his previous predecessors, from guys like Hulk Hogan and all this, that to be the heavyweight champion, you had to push about maybe 360 or whatnot, and to be heavyweight. And then the standard was changed to where you could be 220, 225, 227, and 232 and whatnot, and still be world champion. You didn't have to, and then it just kept changing more and more and more as they let Rey Mysterio and all these people get the belt. So, and excuse me for going off with it, but I just wanted to say that sooner or later we're going to run out of moves, obviously. So we have to learn how to share. We have to learn how to be okay with more than one person having a Kimura lock, for example, or as you put it, a heel hook, or a triangle choke, which is one of my favorite submission holds.
Triangle choke. Now that is a good one. That is a good one.
Absolutely. So like it's a lot of great submission moves that are out there that are not just effective but also fun to watch. And the problem wrestling is having right now is that so many moves have been used that some of the stuff has to go back and repeat. Like this helicopter that keeps flying over. At least it's getting dark.
I'm telling you, YouTube watching.
At least it's getting dark and the lights look nice up there. But anyways, I hope they find whoever they're looking for, and probably looking for Mikito or some shit like that. But anyways, yeah, like I just the new generation of the WWE, WWF, you had guys like Shawn Michaels and stuff like that, a dive through suicide dive was like, oh shit, that's just like the baddest shit you ever seen. And now it's just like, that's just standard. Not now for you to really get a reaction, like you got to do a 630 through the ropes or over the top or some shit. You know what I mean? To get a reaction like that. So I think that we have to be accepting of certain moves being used. I think submissions is much healthier to repeat than wrestling moves that, somebody might have used a stunner or pedigree or rock bottom, whatever, So excuse me for going off too much with that, but yeah, I wanted to just put that through and put that out there, and I want to pass the mic right back to you. Keep on telling the story.
Oh yeah, so like I was saying, Cerberus is a guy I do want to fight again.
Yeah, definitely.
In a singles match.
Yeah.
Mark, I finally found something nice to say about the guy, Mark Bannon.
Yeah.
I believe he's TV champion, right?
He is the world's television champion. Yes, sir.
Mark Bannon, if you're listening, you are indeed a good, quote unquote, old fashioned, straight up wrestling guy. But I can't say you're the guy. I don't see it. Why? Because you still haven't figured out or mastered that part of you that's supposed to be aggressive. You start off aggressive and then you just lose it. So it's like, if you're going to lose that aggression, well, I'm sorry, if you're going to utilize that aggression early on in your matches and then lose it late in the match, then come away with a loss, that kind of becomes your Achilles heel. If you're going to stay aggressive, you got to stay aggressive. I mean, if you're going to go aggressive, you got to stay aggressive.
Mode all season long.
All season long. Period. I mean, I respect you, but I don't see you ever being on my level. You're a good dude. Let's be honest. You won championships. You were double champion at one point. But now it's like, it's a struggle. It's a struggle for you to continue to put on, I'll say it's a struggle for you to come away with those wins.
Yeah.
It's like a win at the skin of your teeth. And you being the guy who used to be double champion, I expect you to be like, I'm talking about like fucking shit up type shit. You know, I'm expecting you to like go hard in every match you do, not just, you know, tap, just, you know, pity pat, tap, tap, you know, type shit like that. I'm expecting you to go hard. So a couple of times if I fought you, you didn't show me the reason you became television champion. You just kind of was lazy. So
Right.
I respect you. You're a good dude. You're a good wrestler. Just not my level. That's all I have to say about that. But Cerberus, definitely a guy I want to fight again. And that's all I have to say about that subject.
I definitely see a lot of great dream matches between you and Cerberus, hopefully this year. I think it'd be really good for TV, especially with him coming up. I mean, he's come up so much. I have opinions on him and Mark Bennett, but I want to give the opportunity to Marcus to see if he's got something he wanted to say about it. Any thoughts? Well, I mean, it could be about the match. It can be about them, you know. If
I've known Mark for many, many years. Me and Mark go back since WWE 12.
wow, I
Long
didn't.
So my opinion on Mark is Mark is very good. Mark has his days where he can show you that he's probably one of the best wrestlers that there is, and then there
I
are
agree.
just some matches where you think, like, what the hell are you doing, bro? You're much better than what we just saw in this match.
Better than
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Like Mark has his good days, Mark has his bad days. Mark can be better if he stayed consistent, like Nick said. If Mark stayed consistent with how he fought people, with how he did his promos, with how he is in and out of character,
Yeah.
he could go so much farther than where he is now. But that's something that he would have to want.
Mark is kind of like when we played San Andreas or we played Fight Night, and you know you working out, you training, and you got to hit the bar every time, and sometimes you miss, and sometimes you hit it. He's kind of like that, you know, with some of the things he does and his wrestling matches. And the thing about this is consistency is everything. You know, uh, we have a love-hate relationship, but Shendon is a good example of that. You know, he's been consistent enough to be able to hang on top as much as he could. You know, eventually Destiny came and got him, just like any other man. And I've told him that. And we might get to him in a bit, but I told him time and time again, you know, eventually, you know, nobody's perfect, and eventually every man loses, you know, because we're only human. But to have the consistency that guy had for so many years, and you know, I think he's world champion 1,080 something. I forgot what it was, but he's had that championship for a long time, you know, and that consistency. If Mark would apply himself like that and just keep that same mindset every time he gets in the ring, I think we would see a very dangerous side of Mark. You know, and a lot of time he'll ask me, he'll be on some, what do you think is missing, or what do you think I need? And I'll try to give him the best advice I can according to, you know, what he's asking me. And the thing you just said, Marcus, is one of the things I tend to try to remind him of, that it's the aggression thing. You know, I remember when he was working with Knicks and we was doing Pumpkin Night, and when he was wrestling, he was upset and he was frustrated because Knicks ate his ass up like Pac-Man, no pun intended, you know.
Oh,
And the reason
like,
that happened, you know, when we talked, and he had, yeah.
No, continue.
You said what?
No, continue.
Yeah, he had realized after that, you know, part of the reason why he didn't come out victorious that night is because he just kind of held back. And then he just did shit that didn't make any sense. And Nick's told him, it's like, look, the reason I caught your ass is because, you know, and we did some tapings and whatnot, you know, and we'll be realistic with this. You know, we probably had maybe 2 matches that we filmed, you know, and we had an issue. we had an issue that we had to repair. But when they got to work the first match, um, he had pulled a submission out on Nix or something like that. So Nix knew what was coming. So by the time we get into the second match, you know, Mark's playing, Nix is strategized or strategized. It's not the same
Strategize.
thing. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. When having someone who can wrestle that applies himself in a way that they strategize and they watch you and they study you, that's very dangerous compared to somebody that's just trying to have a wrestling match. You know what I mean? Just to get the match over with, or whatever the case is. Which I wouldn't like to believe that anybody in JTV is just trying to have a match to get it over with. I mean, where's the passion? What's the point of even being on this roster if you're not going to have that love for it? You know what I mean? That burns in your blood, that fire. So I felt like Mark is definitely that type of guy. I'm not taking that from him. I just feel like Mark sometimes it's like if it's not that he doubts himself, he limits himself. And I'll put a period on that and give you more of it. So I could pass the mic back to you because Marcus was talking. Oh, we got conscience.
I think I think oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'll message him in the comment section. You keep say what you
No,
guys.
I was gonna say, I think I really said what I had to say. Like,
Yeah.
if Mark just pushed himself more, Mark could be way better than what he is now.
Yeah.
I do have something to add to that. Another thing that I
Sure.
don't like about Mark Bannon as a whole is that when he loses said match, he's always going off on the part of you cheated instead of just taking the loss on the chin and learning from it.
Right.
He just goes into this tantrum of on social media saying, "Oh, you cheated, you used my move, etc., etc., etc." And I'm like, Mark Bannon. I mean, it's all a part of the game. You got caught.
Yeah.
You didn't think about it. You just got caught. Just take it on the chin and move on. But he wants to stay arguing, yelling on social media like some middle-aged child and saying, "Hey, are you cheating? I'm better than you." Like, if you were better than me, you would have won the match. But obviously you didn't. And that's the one. You get so emotional. And that could be also another way you could lose a match if you be too emotional. You gotta learn how to stay calm, stay fluent, stay relaxed, stick and move.
Yeah.
And also have fun doing the match.
Bob and weave.
And just learn to have fun.
Yeah.
Everything is not, it's like, I don't hate you. I don't dislike you. Was you a stepping stone in my way? Yeah. But hey, it could have gone either way. If hadn't you not lost sight of what the goal is, you was doing shit that made no sense, like you were saying, Kevin, like you were saying, he did shit that made no sense. There were some times he had me on the ropes. But he just let it go.
Yeah.
You cannot do that with me.
Right.
I can say that I'm an opportunist. You let up even the slightest bit of pressure, I'm going to sneak out the back and just come for your neck. Simple. If you got me locked down, keep locking
wrestling you is not a night off. Excuse me for cutting you off, but wrestling you is not a night off. Somebody's gonna wrestle you. They're gonna have to work that night. Same with Marcus. Me and Marcus don't have a healthy one-on-one TV match. I owe him one. It's one reason for me to consider coming back. Just for a match like that or a match with yourself. But I had the pleasure of working with both of you and amazing on that Mega Rush, and I'm very proud of that match, and I'm very happy that it happened. And it's like I said, I don't shy away from what I think and what I feel. I did not like Nix, you know what I mean. And when he pinned me in the match, he got a lot of my respect, and I had to realize that he was stepping up. you know, you beat me, you're stepping up. That's how I look at it. Um, I'm not a big fan of the sore loser thing. Everybody gets frustrated. It's wrestling. They're winners and they're losers, and nobody likes to lose. Who comes on these shows and talks to you from wrestling that says, "Oh, I like to be a jobber." You know what I mean? Like nobody really says that, and if they do, they definitely are not on this roster, and they Mark, I think, gets sidelined with that type of stuff, and you said that he likes to parade or rant about it, I should say, and don't feel
Parade,
picked.
rant,
Don't,
argue.
don't feel like we're trashing you, Mark, or nothing. I'm not looking at the comments, but I'm just picturing in my head that he's probably saying something on there, and I just it's not bashing. It's just his opinion, my opinion, Mark's opinion. They just see better from you, is what it is, and I see better. I think you have a better season this time around. I like I said, I got an opinion on Mark and Cerberus, but I want to get y'all's. This is y'all show, y'all episode, and that's where we're getting to. So I'm assuming that that's all you have to say about Mark, right?
Yes.
Marcus and Nix.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
all.
Okay, so what about Cerberus? I think people would like to get your side on what do you think about Cerberus, and if you remember the match, thoughts on that. So for Marcus.
His match with Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, it could be the match, or it could just be your thoughts on Cerberus. I'm about to give my side on both of them, but I'm interested as a fan on of your thoughts on Cerberus, him as a talent and whatnot. His progression thus far. You know,
I think Cerberus is a good wrestler, no doubt. He's a very
mm,
aggressive wrestler, very powerful.
okay,
Like that man does not give you a chance to. He doesn't let you take a breath at all. That man wants to be in your face
yeah,
24/7 in a wrestling match. For me, I like it somewhat, and at the same time, I'm not a fan of it. He has a very aggressive fight style, a very aggressive wrestling style. Me, I'm more of a I can work fast paced and slow pace. I'm just not the fan of the very aggressive, don't let your opponents get any move in type of fighting
yeah,
style. Me,
yeah,
I don't know. I like a good back and forth match. And I'm
yeah,
not shitting on him for the way he fights.
not
Because
at
if he
all.
wants to fight that way, hey, more power to you. But for
Right,
me, I don't find it that fun.
right,
But I still think he is a very good wrestler, regardless of how I feel.
okay.
His match with Knicks, I don't remember too well at all, being honest with you. I can't even think
Well,
of
it's
it
a
at the moment.
it's a lot of these matches that you remember some, and others it's just like you don't remember. You know what I mean? But I still am going to ask these questions, to everybody that comes on here because maybe you do have, you know what I mean? Maybe you do have an opinion on it. Maybe you do remember it. If you don't remember it, you know what I'm saying? It's many different things to explore in the conversation, But maybe it's something that might pop in your head, or you might have an opinion on one of them. You know what I mean? And you obviously do. You said your part on Cerberus, and you said your part on Mark. And it's interesting. So it stays there. You just think he's a good wrestler.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I was interested in seeing what you thought about him. Um, for me, I will start with Cerberus, and then I'll get to Mark, I guess. Cerberus, I think, is fantastic talent and a great character. I think his character has stepped up tremendously, gone in a day from when he walked in. Because I was just watching his thing the other day because I'm like, yo, I don't even remember when Cerberus joined JTV, and then it just hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, it was Christmas. I remember. So I went back to Snow Showdown of 2020, and I remember he came out. He had popped up. I remember us plugging him for a little bit that he was coming and whatnot. And then he finally popped up, and then he got a reaction, kind of like Gorilla. When Gorilla popped up, I think it was at No Redemption when he debuted. We had been promoting him for quite some time. And then out of nowhere, music plays and then he comes out. And I remember Colin popped, and it was a great reaction for him. It was the same with Cerberus. Cerberus, he had that, and that's something that's important with talent. Sometimes you want to showcase them before they even step in the spotlight because it builds a certain interest in them. You know what I mean? And I think that helped him in his debut of JTV, and then the second time he had showed up, he showed up at the Japan tour. He showed up in my match actually with Maverick. Me and Maverick was going at it, and then he had popped up. He went after Maverick and whatnot. And then he was off TV for 6 months after that because I had counted it. I'm like, yo, I can't believe that he was kept off that long, because we had so many things going on. Comes back, does his thing, goes after Corey, and very easily in his third match, boom, the guy's got the JTV Total Championship. So that's pretty impressive. I can't tell you anybody off the top of my mind that came to JTV and in their third match they got a belt. You know what I mean? That wasn't handed to them for some particular reason. I'm sorry, my dog is going on. But like that to me was interesting that, he was able to do that just in his third match and everything's worked out the way it has for him. And he don't lose a lot of matches. He tends to hold it together and he tends to do his thing. You know what I mean? He's able to figure out a way to, I guess, just beat people, and he's got a belt to prove it. And he's held on to that belt. Just in his third match, he becomes a champion and he's able to just continue to get by without being checked by the proper person. You know what I mean? I think this season there's going to be some people that's going to step up and try to come for him. But I think he's done great. I think his character has grown so much, like I said, and I think he made himself unique. He adopted the anonymous mask, and kind of made it his thing. And now, like every single time I see the anonymous mask, and I've told people this, but every time I see the anonymous mask, I think about Cerberus. He's what comes to mind. So he was smart to put that visual on him. He put that branding on him that's recognizable. It's almost like one of us walking around as like a Nike logo or something. Who's not going to recognize it, right? So he was smart when he came up with himself because he said, I'm going to adopt this anonymous mask. And it just worked. It just somehow worked. As Cerberus is who is Cerberus? Cerberus is the dude with the long hair that got the black and the white stripes, and he got the anonymous mask. Genius. The music is right. The way he walks, the way he presents himself, the way he moves. I love how he moves in certain matches because it's like Kane. It reminds me of Kane. Like he's full blown in character at all times. He'll be in a match. If you fall out of the ring or he throws you over the top rope, he'll be staring you down like Michael Myers. The way he moves, the way he stands up. I'm like, yo, that's fire, and I like that about him. And he's earned all these opportunities that he's had. He's gotten to work with a lot of greats in JTV. Including Shinden, which that's a match that I even forgot happened. I'm thinking this is a dream match for the future. They already got shots at each other. But in terms of a 1v1 for the World Heavyweight Championship, I think that's an Ultimate Showdown main event, in my opinion. So I think he's doing his thing. I think he's fantastic. And he's someone that I see being a potential Legend and Hall of Famer in the future and a world's champion. And the sky's the limit for that guy. I'm not going to discredit Mark. I'm not going to bash Mark or nothing like that. I think Mark is doing his thing, and the reason I say he's doing his thing is because Mark is got a championship, and that speaks volumes. And in JTV, where you really, really have to earn it, and it's not just handed to you, and it's not just, hey, this person's friend with the boss kind of thing. It tells you how good Mark is. Mark has his ups and downs. Mark is like a baseball team. you know, in this in the season. You have victories and you have losses. You know, you win some game, you lose in other games, and that's just something that happens. You know what I mean? So with that, it's um, like I said, he's got the World Television Championship. Mark should have been double champion one point in time. You know what I mean? He took that opportunity away from himself and said, you know what, I'm that damn good. I'm gonna prove it and I'm gonna get back what's mine. And he went and decided to put a championship around his waist. Oh, Big Papa Pump coming up. And I think that is something to note, that he came back, he's held on to the title as long as he has. He's been successful with it, you know, and now he's running with the Iron Misfits. Um, Mark himself will tell you that being on the mic is not his strong suit. But what he does in the ring, just like Ryan Seal and Cerberus and many others here, it does all the talking for him. Mark is that type of guy that his work is on the mat. You know, his ability is in the ring. And he doesn't have to say too much. Mark could be the type of guy who'll say 3 words and wrestle. You know what I mean? And it works. And so I think that Mark getting in a faction is interesting because Mark hasn't been in a faction or nothing like that. You know, Mark did his own thing ever since he came to JTV and left and came back. And now to be in this faction doing his thing, Mark is just trying to climb to the top, just like any one of y'all. You know, I think it's been a long road for him, but success is starting to show. You know what I mean? And if Mark just stays consistent, consistency is the word that Mark needs to stick to his head this season at JTV, and just stick with it. Don't leave that thought. Stick with it every day. Wake up every day and tell yourself consistency, consistency. Every time you go to the ring, consistency. And you apply that to the match that he had with Conville Wolf, where he was scientifically working on that arm, working on that leg, breaking them down step by step, and just a complete ring general, you know. Then yeah, I could see Mark doing his thing and even convincing me to come out of retirement. You know what I mean? That's going to be tough for anybody to do, you know. But my point is, if he applies himself, he can have a match with anybody. He could do whatever he wants, and he could be at the top of JTV. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, he could walk to Shendon or anybody who might have the title and just take it away and be like, "That's mine now," and I'll give it back when I want to give it back. If he applied himself and put consistency in his mind for the rest of the year or the rest of the season of 2K24, going into 25. I think I think he's great. I think he can do better, much better. And Marcus said it. I'm saying it. You know, Knicks have said it. You know, that consistency is going to take you a long way. Mark needs to focus on that consistency. As long as he does, he'll be just fine. It's almost like a cheat code. So long as he rely on that consistency, he can beat anybody however he wants. You know, so that's how I'm looking at the shit. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm hoping everything works out for him. Any other thoughts? If y'all got some questions, start typing them in. We're getting to wrap. We're getting close to wrapping this thing up real soon. So definitely type in your questions. You guys still with me?
I'm in.
Okay. You with us, next? I got a question for y'all in a bit.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So yeah, I mean the next one is you get to have your fun, I guess. You know what I mean? We I mean you touched on it quite vividly in the other parts of this episode, but you know, I still want to get your side in terms of really addressing it, how you feel you need to address it, and thoughts, and then hopefully we can move on. Um, so this is your golden moment. November
Okay.
4th of 23, you break the streak, went on 1,000 and 86. It was 1,863 days.
I knew you was gonna go there.
You broke the streak. I had said in the previous episodes that we was going to get to this, and this is where we get to go into it directly scientifically. Okay, so this is your chance now to talk about the match. You know, your thoughts on Shindy, your thoughts about the match. This is where you get to gloat. So here's the mic.
What did I think about Shinden throughout the entire match? Old Shinden was cool. Current Shinden is shit. Why I say that is because there was so much hype built around this man. Not to take anything away from him, he's a sensational and incredible talent.
Right.
Throughout the entirety of JTV, he's beaten.
And if you don't stop kissing ass and tell people how you really
just
feel,
shut up, Marcus. I'm giving the man his credit before I take
if
it all
you
away.
don't stop kissing ass
Shut
and tell
your
these people how
ass,
you really
Mark.
feel.
It's my moment. It's my moment. You had your chance to beat the King of Legends, but you didn't. Okay?
I don't
Sit
give a
down.
damn. Tell these people how you really feel over here kissing his ass. Tell them how you really feel. Talking
I
about he a
will.
sensational
If
talent.
you let me speak.
Gone.
Phenomenal
Bring your
talent.
ass up.
Phenomenal talent. Just when he met me.
Well, you can continue, but we're specifically right now, we're only talking about the streak right now. Just you ending the streak.
Me ending the streak was the biggest moment of my entire life. If not my entire career and life in JTV.
Nobody had done that, bro. Nobody had broken that streak. 1,863 days. Nobody broken that streak, and here comes you. Out of anybody, you were thinking on the roster who could have done it. Anybody from the past, present, whatever, and it was JAYDEN Nix. All along, you were the one. It were you.
And it's the feeling I had that night. Couldn't even sleep that. Well, of course I couldn't sleep because I was fucking laid up in the hospital. But okay. Before we got to the hospital stage, it was the best feeling. I'm talking about. I was seeing the fans roaring, the cheers, everything. It was just. It's like winning the championship, but without the belt. It was just.
I mean, you got the taste. You beat the world heavyweight champion. You got the taste. That was the feel. That was the taste of I made it. I did something like, nobody else did. And
never
nobody could take it from you.
That's never in my wildest dreams would have ever got to do something like that. And if you haven't noticed, if you looked at my shirt, you know, it had the Bray Wyatt emblem on it. So what made that match all the more worthy, because I was wearing a tribute outfit to Bray Wyatt for that match. And what made that even more perfect, if my phone could stop going off for 5 seconds, that would be great. Oh, shut the hell up. Okay, I'm sorry. The match, can you still hear me?
I hear you, yeah.
Okay. There's no words. I have no words to describe how happy I was at the end. There's no words. Like, I mean, towards the end, I didn't expect the attack from BKS after the fact. I thought there was just going to be like, you know, accepting their big boss leader loss or the guy lost and just leave me alone. I mean, I had no beef with them. I mean, I had beef with them, but it wasn't that deep, you know. I just wasn't excited. I mean, that's kind of like what, but despite myself being taken out for X amount of months, I still had that exciting feeling that, hey, I'm the one who beat the streak. I was the one, you know? No one can take that away from me. Like you said, no one can take that away from me.
Right.
And it's gonna forever, as I said in my promo, it's gonna live on like a cancer in the mind of in the mind of Shinden.
Right.
It's gonna live like a cancer. It's gonna eat him up every time he goes back and wonders and sees that scoreboard, you know, that little scoreboard that pops up by his name. He's gonna see that one. Doesn't matter how many wins you get here on out, you're gonna always see that one. And it's gonna bother you.
Right.
Like, this is the man that I couldn't beat. Wait, I'm sorry, it wasn't a 1, it was 3, but you know, same difference. He's gonna forever see those 3 numbers and like, huh. So yeah.
And it wasn't just streak being broken, it was also a great match. But
Great match.
let me let you continue, and then you could just pass the mic
If
to Mark.
if I may, I know it's supposed to be about just the streak and my feelings towards streak, but I want to talk more about that match.
Well, that's why you're here. Yeah.
What my honest thoughts about that particular match. It was both an excitement feeling fighting the champ and fighting the King of Legends, because it's always been one of my dreams to fight the man himself. I mean, the last time we've had a confrontation, it was a tag team match, which I didn't really want. I wanted to beat this man in a 1v1. So, you know,
right.
I never got my opportunity. But that match, it's like, it was a little bit easier than I thought. You know, it was easy. He kept on making countless mistakes. I kept on capitalizing. It's like everything, it's like having the Sharingan with Sasuke or Itachi. And his movements were
it's like being in a boxing match. Oh, I was just going to say it's like being in a boxing match, and you don't got to do much boxing. Just keep running into your fist. You just hold it out, and he runs into.
Yeah, but anime reference.
The anime reference is going to go over real well. So
if I were to put it to an anime reference, it's like having the Sharingan, like Itachi Sharingan, or Madara, or Sasuke. This man's moves was clear as a 4K TV. I was reading this man like he was readable. Punch for punch, blocking, dodging, sticking and moving. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee type of reference. He was just throwing obvious moves. And I was wondering, how did you become this undefeated and your moves are so clear to me? It's like I was fighting a bootlegged version of myself, and all I see is myself. Well, I would say my old self throwing these shots that was just so obvious. His spear, obvious. His power bomb, obvious, easy to reverse.
New better you versus old and sloppy you.
So like you, in that moment, all I could see is myself.
Right.
That self that got fired, that self that was, you know, all about him. He can't do no wrong, starting arguments for no reason, but still have that skill. It's like, it was both a killing to my old self and a rebirth to my current self. So Shinden was like, I actually honestly would say, I thank you, Shinden. I thank the supposedly King of Legends or Emperor, whatever you like to call himself these days. Thank him for giving me that rebirth. Because now you made me, I was able to prove to myself that, for one, you were not as untouchable as people claim you to be. You can be touched. You can bleed. You can be defeated. And you're just undefeatable. And I made it look easy. Everything I saw in you was readable. I just am disappointed that it took me so long to get to. I'm just so disappointed that I got released and having to. I could have had this match a lot earlier. I could have beaten you a lot earlier if I had not got into the trouble that I did. So I'm kind of
Right.
disappointed that I had to wait that long, but the wait was worth it.
Yeah,
So,
everything comes at the right time, supposedly they say. It
and
was meant
as
to be.
Marcus would say, all right, enough ass kissing. He ain't shit. He was never shit in that match. He was weak. He was easy.
Right.
He was like he was he was he I was the lion, okay, and he was just some antelope prey. I saw my shot.
Right.
I saw my shot. Went for the neck, and that was it. See what I did there?
Right.
Choked him out. That's it. I
Almost
choked
like
him out.
a vampire.
Oh
Go
yeah.
for the neck, fang him.
When he woke up, he realized I'm not undefeated anymore. And what did he do? I'm not undefeated. He couldn't take it. He couldn't handle it. So he had
Right.
to get his boys. He had to get his boys to take me down, take me out, etc. But at the end of the day, he couldn't take away that feeling of me conquering the streak.
Right.
And I believe that's what hurt him the most. He can't take away that. He can't rewind history and be like, damn, let me try to see if I can try to take it. It's set in stone.
Even
Everybody's going to renew it. Everybody's going
even
to.
even if somehow he got you back, he still cannot change that.
He can't.
I understand what you're saying. It's interesting. It's a very interesting position to be in. He could do anything to you. He could have been dramatic, toxic, whatever. He could have been the type that, you know what? He beat me. He broke my streak. I want him gone, J Kid. You gotta fire him, J Kid. All that could have happened, but it still does not change the fact that you broke the streak, and that remains like that forever. He could ruin your career. He could have 20 more members of BKS join. He could beat the shit out of me and you on a Mega Rush, and it still does not change the fact that
No,
you broke
you're
the
right.
streak.
And he's had to live with that.
Yeah.
And and that inspiration of me beating him inspired tons of other talent. Now everybody's seen like, okay, he's not unbeatable anymore. We have a shot. We have a chance. If we do exactly what Nick's did, maybe it don't have to be submit. The thing is, people want to say you have to tap somebody out. Again, going back to what you said about the whole submission thing, it's not an issue. It's not. This is not. This is not some sandbox league or you're protected by rules. This is wrestling. This is like a sport. Anything goes. Your background, where you come from. You could be an MMA fighter, Greco-Roman wrestler, kickboxer, boxing. You can even quantify that all into different types of wrestling if you want to go that route.
Right.
But you're using your own style that you made for yourself to win a match. So what? Marcus can be a dirty boxer, but knows some wrestling. If he hits you with a one lucky punch, you're out for the count and you're going for the 1, 2, 3.
Right.
That make him, oh, you have to use a knockout punches to beat me. No, he used what he knows. It's not a problem. Submissions, whether you get pinned, knocked out, tapped out, whatever, you still get the win. It may not sit well, but a win is a win.
May not be how they like it, but hey, submission rules apply in JTV, man. This isn't.
If anything, submission is like making a point.
Yeah, like a statement, because you tap somebody else like you make them your bitch. I know what you're saying.
Exactly.
And that's what he does not like. You know, that you beat him like that, you submitted him like that. You know, and I get that.
And a lot of other talents come up to, huh?
3 times.
Yeah,
Oh,
three times.
yeah.
Three times. Yeah.
So and I had a lot of people come up to me and say that Shin is the type of guy that just doesn't like to look weak. I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. I
I don't
can't
think
say I don't
I
like
don't
it.
I don't think it's a big deal, but
It's not a
I hear
big
what
deal.
you're saying. Yeah.
If you gonna take if you don't like to look weak, you don't like to look this certain way, but guess what? You're gonna look, I'm sorry, you're gonna look, you're not gonna always come out, go inside the ring, expect to leave with no injuries.
Hmm.
You come in, do your shit. It's not set in stone. It's not set in stone.
Right.
Marcus can look weak, but Marcus can look weak in the beginning, but come out strong at the end.
Right.
I just feel that in that moment, Shin didn't have a good time. It wasn't his moment. It was his time to lose. It was his time to finally lose. Everyone has that time. You can't remain undefeated forever. I'm not expecting to hold on to this. I'm expecting to go very long with the Z Division Championship. I'm expecting to hold that shit down like no other. But I'm also always expecting that one of these days, just like I gave Shannon one of his days, I'm going to lose that title.
Right.
But it's not the end.
Not the end. Get it right back.
I'm going to get it right back, or I'm going to go for something bigger.
Yep.
So, I look at it that way. And I had a lot of fun fighting him.
Yeah.
Do I want to fight him again? No. This is just like the NBA. Even though I'm from LA, it's just like the Nuggets beating the Lakers last year, sweep. I hate the Lakers.
Maybe next year.
I swept I swept Shendon. Don't need to fight him again. I don't need to.
Right.
I don't want to.
3 times.
I don't have to. I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight Shendon. I've had my time. I had my fun beating him 3 times. I don't need to prove anything. I don't have nothing else to prove. Let him fight somebody else that's not me. I'm good. I want to live out some other dream matches. Maybe with Corey Flash. I never fought him yet.
Right.
Maybe Cerberus, the guy we was just talking about. I want to fight him.
Right.
I want to fight Dan Rapture. I want to have an experience having a slap match with Conscience. Hell,
First third eye Conscience.
Hell, even going against my own brother Marcus Holloway. These are the matches I want to have next.
Right.
Those
are the only matches that make sense for you to have next. You keep moving in a different direction. I'm not a big fan of rematches, but I will say that for you and Shen to have 3 bangers, the way it worked out, I think worked fine. I thought it worked really, really well, and it wasn't all just singles matches. So I think that it went well. I think as a fan, it just needs to be left alone. And maybe next year something can happen, unless, of course, an opportunity presents itself for you to go for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Shannon is still the champion. If that's the case,
if the opportunity presents itself, I will be honored.
Yeah, I believe you. Because that's what it's all about. The World Championship is the richest prize in JTV. But let me go ahead and switch it to Marcus. Your thoughts on Shen and the match?
I can't say that I have too much to say. I'm happy that Knicks beat him. I'm happy somebody finally beat the streak, because.
But did you think it was a good wrestling match? Did you enjoy the match when they went at it?
Being honest, I thought excuse my language, but I thought the match was shit.
Oh.
And I've told Knicks the same thing.
He told me after the match, yo.
it was shit. Just the way y'all both was fighting. Good God.
Wait, hold on. At least I sold. I mean, I sold.
You sold.
Them hits hurt. Them
But the
hits
way
was
y'all was fighting each other, good Lord, that was horrible. Like, God damn.
man. I couldn't even utilize even a tenth of my MMA background skills on this man because this man just wanted to not stay the fuck down. Like, stay your ass down. Like, please, let me do something. You know?
Yeah, that wasn't a wrestling match. That was more of a how quickly can I get this match over and done with? Because I just want to win.
Mm,
That's what that match was to me when I was looking at it.
right,
Very happy that Knicks won. Very happy.
right.
But that match was hot garbage.
And your thoughts on him? The same?
Shin,
Yeah.
as a character, he cool. His fighting style, uh, shit.
Mm,
Mm, that's a big one right there.
well,
Like I said, I'm not a fan of the whole aggressive, just do what I can to win type of mentality. I want to have a
right.
match with somebody and
And
put on a show for the people that are
there's
watching.
there's a roster of people that you see that are just the typical squash type, not let's put on a match. That's what I'm understanding from. I get it. Um, I think you still with us, Marcus?
Yeah,
I think Shannon speaks for himself. I've already said what I thought about him on countless times, and I don't want to bore people with that. But it's interesting Marcus' thoughts on the matter. I knew what to expect from Knicks, but it's just interesting. I remember the match actually being interesting, and I like the fact that Knicks won. I all the respect in the world for Shannon, whether we get along or not. But the thing is, he, it was just the right time to move on. This was something interesting. This was something new. The world had changed. I mean, the streak was over, and the streak had ran its course, whatever, and it's a done deal. And now, I see Barty doing his thing. He keeps coming out on our graphics here, standing next to you at the ECW show. I went back and watched that show, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. Ate that shit up. But yeah, Barty's a street guy now, and there'll be more streaks and whatnot. And will somebody ever get past that 61? Obviously, he could not. You know what I mean? But and anybody that ever gets past that 61 and goes into 62 or is able to have at least a successful streak can at least say they come close to what Shendon represented. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's one of the GOATs. There's no doubt about it. I give him all the credit in the world. But, Knicks came, did his thing, got the job done however necessary. You know, Shendon was feeling since like last season that the day was coming and sooner or later that streak was going to be done, and it's happened. So with all of that, it's just like it's over with. The streak just ends and that's it. You know what I mean? We keep it moving. But let me go ahead and shift into my next question. So y'all still with me?
I do want to know what the comments are saying.
We're gonna go to the comments in a bit, but I'm gonna turn my attention now to Marcus. This question is for him, or
Okay.
this is a topic for Marcus to talk about that is very very close to his heart. Because Marcus had the opportunity this past holiday season. He had the opportunity to put our beloved Bray Wyatt in the Hall of Fame.
R.I.P. R. Bray Wyatt.
R.I.P. the GOAT, man. That weekend, I'm sure, was very emotional for him. Different things that he was feeling because of just going back to one of his heroes and just being able to get that cherry pop of tagging with Barty, you know what I mean, and just discovering a whole new world. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if I can even say this on here. You know, grow up if I can, but you know, he tagged up with Barty, and it was almost like Marcus tasted ecstasy for the first time or something. You know, a whole new drug for
Ah,
him. You know, and I'm not gonna go too much about Barty unless Marcus decides to make it this way. But I will say that the Hall of Fame was a very special night. It was a special weekend. We were celebrating the holidays together, and we had 3 shows that weekend, just dominating all the way through. The third one took a little bit of time, you know, but we was able to still get it out, and the great weekend was still completed, you know, and that Hall of Fame that weekend, um, very emotional night. We got to see a lot of personalities that we've come in love as we've grown up. You know, we got to put the first woman in the JTV Hall of Fame. China went in, courtesy of Ari, you know, and Jocelyn. Bob Ross got in there, you know, and but Bray Wyatt going in, it really touched a lot of people because you know he really connected with a lot of y'all. And I've always liked Bray Wyatt ever since. I think I even liked him a little bit when he was Husky Harris in the Nexus, you know. But the Bray Wyatt character, you know, when he was reintroduced and he came in and he had, you know, the whole deal going on with the Wyatt family. I've always loved Bray Wyatt, and I never pictured in my head that Bray ever needed to be fixed. So when they first brought the Fiend out and all this other stuff, I didn't like it because I'm like, you're ruining this great character. If it ain't broken, don't try to fix it. You know what I mean? So I've always liked Bray with all of that, you know. And then once I started realizing how popular, how successful, and how catchy the Fiend character was, I started loving the Fiend. I love that they made him look strong. I love that he can take like 16 stunners and get right back up. I thought that was just amazing. You know, it was a great way to use the character, and it just worked. And he found a way to just make all his characters work more and more and more. You know what I mean? The Uncle Howdy shit just kind of weird to me, you know, but I'm sure they're gonna keep trying to make it work. And who was responsible for that? Bray Wyatt. They're not gonna take that. They can't take that away from him, you know. So Bray going into the hall in the wrestling JTV CW Hall of Fame, very very special to a lot of people, very emotional. You know, we had all the videos and everything playing for Terry Funk and everybody. The Bray shit was the type of stuff to make you tear up. You know what I mean? So I think it's great that we could remember him and that he touched a lot of lives, a lot of fans in wrestling, and a lot of wrestlers. But you, sir, Marcus, got the opportunity to put him in the Hall of Fame, and this was one of your heroes. Um, just briefly talk about that night, you know, because you gave a great speech, you know, a very eloquent, well educated speech that I thought, like your speech, it sounded like you looked it up somewhere. That's how good it was, and I know that that was you speaking. So just talk about it and just tell them, you know, your thoughts on Bray, what he meant to you, what he means to you, because that doesn't go away. That's with you for life.
Bray was one of those characters that probably meant, well, not probably. He meant to me like the Undertaker did in my childhood. Like I've always been into the very weird characters that don't have to talk much, but they can put on a hell of a fucking match. Excuse my language.
Right.
They can put on some very good matches. They can randomly start talking and they can talk you in circles, but they can make you believe in what they're saying, even
Definitely.
if it makes no sense at all.
Definitely.
He made me believe in everything he was saying, and that's what drew me to Bray. That's what made me start loving Bray.
Mm.
And then when he came out with the Fiend, I didn't know how it was gonna go, but that first match with Finn Balor, it hooked me.
Mm.
I hate that they had him fight Goldberg and him just getting squashed and ruin everything for that man.
Right.
Like he was such a good character that like you couldn't have him just lose to any old body.
Right.
Like it had to be somebody special. Like when he lost to Randy Orton, I wasn't the happiest in that Inferno match. When he lost to Randy Orton in that Inferno match, I wasn't the happiest about it, but I understood it because they had history with Randy joining the Wyatt family and burning
Right.
down the fucking Wyatt compound. I understood that because he was in Bray's mind.
Yeah.
But then he lost at WrestleMania again to one RKO, and
Right.
I just hated it. I
Yep.
hated it.
I agree. I remember that.
And then they tried to have him go after Roman, had him do a whole angle against Paul Heyman, and then that just got scrapped, and then he got released.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart when it happened. It
Right.
pissed me off because you had such a good character, and you ruined him for no good reason at all.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, he's always been a good friend to his buddies. He's always been close to his people, and Bray was going. I mean, we all go through it. You know, um, we all at some point in life go through a mental breakdown, a crisis or whatnot. He was going through it. You know, and his departure from the company was more about his mental health than them firing him or him quitting. And I understood that Bray was going through some shit. I was just really hoping, like, you know what, man, I really hope this dude gets back because he's so talented and he deserves to be. I feel like his world title reign was mediocre. They just completely disrespected him with the way they treated his world title reign. I like the fact that him and Goldberg was working together. Wasn't the biggest fan of necessarily the biggest fan of Goldberg just beating him. I think something else could have happened, but he didn't need to beat Goldberg. I mean, it could have ended some kind of no contest or whatnot. In JTV, we've had several matches that ended in no contest. It doesn't happen all the time. People like to see a winner, but I mean, protecting the integrity of a character is everything, like you said. Pretty much. And I think that um, he was great, man. But to see the reaction, like I said, once I got to see the emotion from you and Adam Styles and several people in JTV that I didn't even realize felt the way you felt about Bray Wyatt, and just it messes with my head. And sometimes when I listen to his song, that part that says "Pray for me, brother" or something like that, the lyrics better than I do. But there's a part that it just it reminds me of how much he loved his brothers, whether they were adopted or not. Obviously, he loved JoJo and the kids, but and PJ Storm, he had an impact on him too. Just um the impact that I saw that he made on y'all and the fans and everything, it just made me realize, like, yo, we lost someone who really had no reason to not being here no more. And that happens in life, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, but that's just what it is. I mean, life has a way of taking these people that just have no business in leaving, but in that departure, they inspire in a way that it stays with you. And I think that that's one of the main reasons we all love Tupac so much. I mean, Tupac has people that don't like him, but a lot of people really resonated with Tupac while he was alive, but much more so after he died. And that impacted everybody. Same with Biggie, that natural knack, that natural feeling that we have as humans, as people, to um, more so have a reaction to someone when they're dead rather than alive is an interesting perspective, a unique way of thinking, you know. And I say this a lot of time as much as I can when I go on these things to get this message out there and to continue to spread that love and spread that message to love each other appreciate what you got, value your time, because it's a short trip, it's a short visit. I mean, Brave, that shit. I sometimes I look at his pictures and I just think like I still can't believe it. Like Bray's not dead. There's no way, and that's I had a the hardest time I ever had was with Eddie Guerrero. Don't know what happened. I watched Eddie in WCW. I watched him in the WWF, and then as time went on, he's dead. And when it happened, I remember it traumatized me more than anybody else because he didn't never seem like the type of character that would die, the type of person that would die. You just wouldn't expect it. He was just so strong, so full of life. You know what I mean? You just wouldn't see it. And it's just like, no, just like that. He goes, you know what I mean? And so with Bray, it was just like, it sucks. I remember him coming back. I remember him walking through the door and me thinking like this is just amazing. I'm so happy he's back and I hope that they're gonna use him well. And the Uncle Howdy thing got a little weird and confusing at times, and I feel like we kind of lost touch on how good Bray was for a bit, and then the next thing you know, he gets sick again, and now he got this situation where he's dead, man. And I still try to figure it out. I still try to figure out, okay, so let me try to comprehend this. And this is not me picking on anything or anyone or nothing like that, but it's just like I question every single thing. I don't mean to disrespect anybody's religion or whatnot. I question everything. But help me understand from a point of view that makes sense in this life. How is Bray Wyatt with being a dad, with his kids, with coming back to the WWE and finishing his so-called story, and everything. How is he dead, but Vince McMahon is still alive? This old bastard. Kevin Impact is going to come out now. I'm sorry. This old ass piece of shit did the shit that he done did, and this man is still alive to this very day. His old ass. He looked like an old nutsack, and he's still pumping like one. Somehow. You know what I mean? To me, that's insane. And I don't get it. You know what I mean? But that's just how things work out. He's an angel now. Of course, he's over his family. And I do believe there's better things for us in the great beyond. That doesn't mean you rush there. You know what I'm saying? You live this life and you work your way towards that one. You just don't take a shortcut, because the shortcut you might take you in the wrong direction, if you know what I mean. You see what I did there? So to you, I really respect and appreciate I love the vibe that you have in terms of Bray Wyatt, and I feel like we showed them a lot of respect, and I thought it was appropriate because, I mean, there was candidates, but I felt like you was the right guy needed to, if we was going to put Bray in the Hall of Fame. And I don't regret it, and I'm glad that it's done. And it's up to us to continue his legacy now. Bray ain't dead, and we'll see what's going to happen with what they're going to do with the Uncle Howdy thing and everything. I hope it works out. I hope it goes good, in my own opinion. So, in a little bit, we're going to go to the comments section and answer some questions. So, you want to start throwing those questions at us. And I have another question, but before I do, I want to give the opportunity to Marcus to finish up with Bray.
I won't say that, Bray was my hero because, I growing up, I've never really had heroes. I've had people that I've always looked up to.
Right.
But Bray was just one of those wrestlers where I didn't care if he won or if he lost. I just love seeing Bray on TV because
Entertaining, very entertaining.
he was entertaining.
Yeah.
From being with Matt Hardy, from being with the Wyatt family,
Yeah. Yeah,
he
he
was
could work
just
with anybody.
a super duper entertaining guy all around, no matter who he worked with.
I agree. I agree with that. You still with us, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So yeah, I agree with that. I think that he was great, and that's one of those characters that it doesn't matter what they're doing. I feel like even him losing matches couldn't hurt him when he got as hot as he did. I just think that, like Orton beating him, Goldberg beating him, this person, that person, that those were the times when I was just like trying to figure out like how does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like I didn't want Cena to beat him or nothing. Like beat Cena every time. There's no reason for Cena to win. You know what I mean? So, which is one of the conversations I have with Shen, for example. Shen is always trying to go out there to do his thing and to win, but it's just like it ain't always necessary. You know what I mean? You've had your moments, your fair and share of moments in JTV. You know what I mean? Where's everybody else at? Let's give opportunities to this person to step up. So I think he was a goat, man. That's not it's not going to change. But you got my interest, because we're talking with you. We're talking with you. So going back to something you just said, Marcus. You talked about not having heroes and whatnot. I'm kind of curious about this. Who are some of your favorites along with Brian with Bray? Because you mentioned Undertaker, and I love '90s Undertaker. I mean, I love Undertaker in general, but you know, Ministry of Darkness Undertaker and traditional, is among the ones that I like. American Badass. I mean, I I I was watching wrestling when he was the American Badass, so I lived that entire era. Even when he went to Big Evil. You know, so I'm wondering if you could throw down some names because this helps me
Mm,
learn more about you, and it's in my interest. You could throw some names at me. You said you like dark characters. Who are the ones that you like?
I've always loved Undertaker, Kane, Bray.
Mm,
Let me think. More dark characters. I've liked some of the stuff that Malachi Black has been doing in AEW. I liked him as Aleister Black.
same, same. He's great.
Like I'm more of a fan of the darker characters that don't talk much, that just come out, beat people's asses. I've always been a fan of that.
Yeah,
And they can
and
take a loss too when needed.
you see something much more in a character and a talent, a wrestler, than just wins and losses. And I'm the same way because I feel like the character it shines through anything. The type of character you are. You can have what somebody else might think is 5-star matches, and it don't mean shit. You can be the most scientific guy in the ring, blah blah blah, yada yada. Um, you could have this championship. You could have beaten this person, whatever. If your character is not the type of character that does that to you, then it just doesn't work. That one character that stands out that it catches your attention. You know what I mean? And these are the type of characters that really resonate with Marcus and I think that anybody that comes with that dark type of mysterious type of character approach, I guess, would suit him. Because I guess it would explain the Marcus Holloway character build. You know, uh, but what about the Warrior? Were you a fan of the Ultimate Warrior?
Being honest,
Well, yeah, I want you to be honest.
I never got to know much about Warrior because growing up, I never really saw the Warrior in video games because
Right.
Warrior was so out of the WWE, and WWE didn't really want to do anything with that man.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know too much about Warrior until maybe I started playing maybe around 2K14. He came back as like a DLC character for 2K14. That's really when I started to know a little bit about Warrior. Then I started seeing videos of him online, the self-destruction of Warrior, and then him being a bit homophobic and a bit of and all this other stuff, and
Really? I didn't know
him and
that.
Vince not seeing eye to eye.
Yeah.
I thought Warrior was cool for what he
Yeah.
was. I never saw his match with Hulk Hogan, but playing the match
Really?
on 2K14, yeah, I never saw his match with Hulk Hogan. Never watched that pay-per-view, but playing the match, I don't know, it brought interest to me to actually want to watch the match
So
to
you
see how
haven't
good it
seen the
was instead
match
of
or you
me
saw the match?
playing. I have not seen it. I've only played it on 2K14.
Yeah, you got to go watch that match, my G. Straight up. That's a throwback. I mean, it's a classic. It ain't the greatest thing, and I'm starting to learn and understand how you see wrestling matches, and I don't think you're gonna like that match. It was a little, those characters back in the '80s in the WWF, they were like comic book characters, but there was just drama and like it's almost like they had superpowers. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's just like Hulk Hogan. You take like Macho Man Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. It's like their finishing moves is like the most devastating thing, and now it's like, finishing moves galore in a match, and then 1, 2 kicked out, 1, 2 kicked out. So it was just different, but for these, I guess, spectacle side of it, I think you might enjoy it. Just the comic book heroic type of theatrical shit that they do in there, between them. The macho thing, it was very macho, and I came up with some of that, later on, because I'm a '90s kid. But it was just very macho, a macho environment where it's like who's got the bigger guns. Now it's just about like spots and good matches and stuff like that in wrestling. But the macho thing, the flexing, the shoving, the taunting, that was definitely uh, part of most of what they did in the wrestling at those times. So traditionally that's how shit used to be. And it's like I said earlier in this podcast that, to be the world heavyweight champion, you had to be pushing like 360. You couldn't be 220, 227 or nothing like that. Now you could be 169 and you can win the WWE heavyweight world championship, universal galaxy belt, whatever the hell they want to call it now. You know what I mean? So yeah, so that's interesting. That's interesting. Um, so it looks like you gravitated to a few people, and I'm assuming since Warriors out of it, I'm just assuming that a lot of the beginning of this goes back to the Undertaker. So this has to be like the '07s, the '06, the '05s, all that.
yeah.
A little bit of that ruthless aggression era is your era. Um, and by
It
chance,
started with Undertaker,
yeah,
and then it started with Undertaker with the darker characters, and then it started to draw more to people like Jeff Hardy. Not knowing, like, I didn't know Jeff Hardy growing up, but when I saw him come back to WWE, just the way, just the way he was himself, it made me like him a lot. He didn't have the best wrestling style. That man was a fucking daredevil. Excuse my language, but Jeff was one of those weird extreme wrestlers that spoke to me a lot.
yeah, yeah. your thing was interesting also because I know you're a fan of Matt Hardy too. He was an interesting one because Matt started off as like almost overrated for me, because I first got a taste of the Hardy Boys probably in SmackDown 1, PS1, before I was on N64, and stuff like that. And I mean, I think I wasn't the only one in saying this, but everybody liked Jeff. Nobody cared about Matt. And
Yeah.
Matt's so talented and so good that he didn't quit at it. And I love that because that's what it should always be about. Never ever give up on it. Matt never gave up. And the only time I seen Matt as like a main eventer was in '09. And if I ever go to start showing the old JTV tapes from the old JTV, then I'll be able to show you guys there was a time in JTV where I pushed Matt, and it was in '09. '09, he had those tights, and I thought they looked nice, and I gave him a new theme song and everything. Um, and I gave him a push as like a main event guy, and I enjoyed it. And then I started thinking that he could probably be like a main event guy, but they weren't doing that in wrestling. In wrestling, he wasn't shit. It wasn't until some time and him coming into the broken gimmick that he just got so old, and that shit just took off, and it wasn't, and everything he was doing was being successful. Like once he did the broken gimmick, then he started having Jeff doing shit, and that got over, and then he started having whatever it was called, that extravaganza shit that he would do, that event, and that worked and got over too, and like everything was working for him. um so the Hardy Boys are just amazing legends of wrestling, but thank God that Matt did his shit and came around and became a main guy, and eventually I think I remember, um probably wrong, I remember him being like world champion in WWE. If not, then like on SmackDown or something. I'm probably
He
wrong.
was world champion on ECW.
Oh, ECW, that's what it was. Yeah, he was the East. He had that silver title. That's what it was, the new breed. And yeah, I mean, I always saw better from that, and but it just didn't happen. And he went out, he did his shit, and he got over. The same way Sting got over and all that. Did you like Sting?
I love Sting in TNA.
Okay.
When I started watching him in TNA, love
Yeah.
Sting in TNA.
Yeah, I've always loved Sting since I was a kid. I had him on VHS. I'd watch him on WCW, and then I had I never had a Sting action figure when I was a kid. I'm lying. I didn't have an action figure, but I was my parents got me somebody got me like these it was like big action figures, but they got a button that they talk. And it was Diamond Dallas Page, Sting, Goldberg. Who did I say? It was Sting, Diamond Dallas Page, Goldberg, and Kevin Nash. And they was like huge, that and I love Sting, in the '90s. I thought he was great, and he just kept evolving. He was one of the true. We're talking about dark characters because those are your type. Um, Matt fit into that because he's your boy, and Sting was another one, I guess, that you like. That was just a well produced character that got over and ripped from a movie. You know what I mean? He took the whole Brandon Lee Crow gimmick. He took it, and it worked. You know what I mean? So of course, V for Vendetta Cerberus, it worked. Sometimes you can do stuff like that and get away with it if you can not make it so transparent and just find a way to own it. You know what I mean? A lot of these characters, I don't consider myself no damn creative genius in CW wrestling, but I think I got a natural eye for talent, and I can recognize someone after some time. I keep working with them. You know, it took me time with Shendon, Nix, Marcus, Corey Flash, so many. that I took time to get to study them, get to learn them, get to know them, and seeing how I have to use that character, you know. And but we all get influenced by different things. Sting is a character. Brandon Lee, rest his soul, a great actor, a great movie, The Crow. Sting took that, ran with it, and he didn't give it back, you know. And it's interesting now that in this age, nobody's looking back at the movie. I mean, and why would they? Because nobody really goes back and watches anything from the good old days, supposedly. It's about what's going on now. But it's interesting that the internet is never really came for Sting. Because Sting ain't had no problems with nobody. Sting is the type of person, he just be cool with everybody. Even when that old bastard Ric Flair came back and went to, I almost said TNA, went to AEW over there. You know, I used to have Corey dying because I'm like, okay, so Ric Flair is back, right? For Sting's legacy because Sting is retiring. So Ric Flair is going to be with him. And Ric Flair is out here selling weed, man. Ric Flair is out here promoting chicken and Viagra and all this shit. And I'm telling Corey, and I don't apologize for my language, but I'm telling Corey, like, you know, he's over here, you know, I'm not going to say it on him, you know, but it's just like, oh, he's going to sleep with a 16-year-old, a young intern, just for Sting's legacy, out of respect for Sting's legacy, you know, like, oh, you know, I'm not on TV for money, you know, and I thought that was interesting, you know, but it goes back to Sting. Sting is such a great person that he shared that with Ric Flair. He, you know, willingly. So it's interesting that nobody comes at him over taking the Crow gimmick. Like, nobody comes at him for being a copycat or anything like that. And if anybody's evidence that you can take something over and make it yours if you're talented enough, Ray Geddes is proof. You know what I mean? And I don't know, but it's interesting. Throw them questions at us. I'm gonna go to Nix again. I need you back on the mic, Nix. Make some noise. Cracking my nut. You hear, Nix?
If you're not here, I'm gonna just start answering questions.
Yeah, we got some questions. Conscience, I had a question. I can easily scroll up and see, so we straight. All right. You got a question you want to answer, Marcus?
Yeah, I see a couple questions here. I'm gonna answer real quick.
All right.
Let me see.
All right.
Asked them when they started watching wrestling. Me, I think I started watching wrestling probably maybe around 06, 07. I can't remember too much, but I believe it was 06, 07 for sure.
Yeah. And who
Another
asked
question? That was no kills, no damage. Hold on, man.
All right. I'm going through the list. I'm scrolling down to see what questions were asked. And let's see here. You back, Nix?
Yeah.
All right. I got one last question for you, and we're answering questions right now from the comment section. So while we're doing that, and I'm looking through these questions, I just want to take you back briefly to Snow Showdown 2023 ECW rules. You had already broken Shendon's streak, but on this night, you took one of Shendon's belts, championship, that C Division championship that he'd been holding for 1,704 days. It's a long time to be a champion. You brought that.
Yes, indeed.
You brought that all the way down. You know what I mean? So obviously, you've talked about how special it was to break the streak, but what was different? What was much more special about this night? Obviously, not just being in New York City for ECW for your first time in JTV, but also beating the world heavyweight champion for the legendary C Division championship. Tell me
Well,
about that.
not only being in not only being in New York City for ECWs, but to win the actual champion Z Division championship match in that way. I mean, of course, the only difference was a different level of excitement because this time I won the belt.
Yeah.
But if I were to be honestly, like, you know how Marcus was honest about the first encounter,
Yeah.
last encounter was, I felt winning the championship was the glory amongst all glories, but just who I was fighting, it felt like shit because it didn't have a lot of my favorite things. Not a lot of high flying, not enough extreme rules, not enough weapons being used. It was just, it felt like I could have done more if only Shannon would have stayed down more.
Yeah.
I felt like if it was gonna be a main event, they will need to make it. This is ECW, damn it! So it needed to be, it needed to be a lot more weapons being thrown around, chairs, ladders, tables, hammers, the works, tables being broken. It felt like more of a. It felt more of like a just your average fight
It was
for
just a fight, and then you tapped his ass out. That's what it was, you know.
a.
I had requested from him to wrestle you, work with you, and use that arena up because it's the main event, and this is ECW
Apparently, it
time,
never got to him.
right?
I think his mindset was still fixed on the fact that this is he beat me twice, so now I gotta
Yeah,
do
that's
it.
exactly what it was. That's exactly what happened. You know, he was so um almost he was so infatuated with the idea of getting you back for what you did to him that he wasn't trying to work with you, wasn't trying to do shit on the stage and whatnot. You know, he was just trying to get you down however he could and beat you. I mean, he did. I think in that match he was really trying to submit you more than the other matches
Now
because you
let's
know what I mean.
dive into that. Let's dive into the submission part.
Go ahead.
Let's dive into that part. Now, the whole submission thing. And it's ironic. It's kind of cute, to be honest, that he tried to use some of the similar methods that I used against him in our first encounter, plus second encounter too. That he had honestly had me nearly tapping. But the one thing that kind of like disappointed about that is that he let it go.
Right.
I mean, let me get real close with this. He let it go. Why the hell would you let it go? Going back
Twice.
twice.
Yeah.
Going back to we was just talking about Mark.
That's
We was just talking about
yeah.
we was just talking about that. When you have me locked down, don't give me any room to think, no room to maneuver, because as soon as you give me just a little bit of space, I'm slipping out the back door. And what happened? I slipped out the back door. He used his best message to tap me out. And what happened? I saw the moment and I tapped his bitch ass out.
Mm.
So, what does that tell you? He tried to use my methods against myself. I know my methods. I know myself. You're trying to use my tools against me. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You were so, how you say, absorbed into beating me back that I was living rent free in your head. I already had you beaten. But I wanted to use weapons. I wanted to use tables. I wanted to make you feel how you made me feel when you took me out for some months.
Right.
But you didn't let me do that. Like, I won the title. Cool. I love it. I love being champion. I love being the first time champion here in JTV since my career started.
Yeah.
But I wanted that match to be better. It felt like Jimmy and Jey Uso at that very moment. It was just a battle of who gets the first submission. I wanted it to be a fight. I came looking for a fight. I came looking for revenge. And you gave me this? Couldn't sell. Couldn't stay down. No.
Oh, he wanted it.
It was just too much. I'm like, I'm not gonna let Nix. I ain't gonna let Nix bully me. I ain't gonna let him bully me for a 3. I gotta beat him back somehow. Bro, I wanted this to be a spectacle. You know what it's like to be in the main event. This was my first time being a main event on this level. An ECW? In an ECW arena. I grew up watching ECW, Sandman, New Jack, all these Sabu, RVD, all these ECW legends, and you're gonna do me this way? You're gonna get me a boring ass match like this, just a fight. I wanted to jump off of ladders. I want to swing chairs. Hell, I want to grab the steel steps I'm very well known for. I wanted to break barricades, fight in the crowd, fight on the stage, everything, fight backstage even. But you wanted to turn into just your everyday average fight for a title.
Right.
The only thing that could have saved that main event is because the only thing that probably saved that main event was everybody was like, I'm so happy that Nix beat Shendon because by God,
Again,
he doesn't know. He just, by time. God, by God, he was just, Shendon was boring to watch. Nix was the guy that we liked watching, but still, I'm just kind of glad that match is over because it was shit. Cool, Nix won. All right, great. Marvelous. I felt like I was selling more than he was, Nothing, just give myself a pat on the back. I was selling. I love selling.
Right.
I love selling. I love making the matches look believable. I was hurt. I was hurt. I was banged up.
Yeah.
But that's the specialty of it. If you can't sit there and put on a good match, take your ego. No, first of all, take your ego out the match and put on a great match. Put on a great show. And that's why I feel, going back to what I told you guys earlier, I don't have any desire to fight Shendon. Fighting Shendon is like having a strength contest. There's no hype behind it. It's just a fight. It's just a brawl. I want to put on a show, put on an actual main event, a grand spectacle. I can't do that with Shendon. Because why? Shendon won't not sell. He won't allow himself to look weak. He won't let himself be. He won't allow himself to look weak. And I don't like competing against guys like that.
Yeah.
When me and Marcus have had
you think it's a pride thing or what?
I feel like it's a huge pride thing. For him, for Shendon, it's a huge pride thing. A huge pride thing. Because any moment he looks weak, he feels that championship that he holds on the shoulder, that World Heavyweight Championship, is tainted somehow. But look at how many people, you, Mr. Amazing, Corey Flash, people who even came and gone who have held that World Heavyweight Championship. They didn't care about looking weak when having that title. All
Right.
they care about is put on a great show and hopefully retain that championship while making it look good. If I were to get my hands on that World Heavyweight Championship, I would do my damn best to make that shit look relevant as fuck. I mean, excuse my language again. To make that shit, make that championship look relevant. I don't want it to look weak. Like I don't want people being like, oh man, Nick's not selling. And that championship do kind of look boring on him. He ain't selling. He ain't trying to. He's making every match look like a 5-minute match, 10-minute match. He ain't trying
Yeah.
to make that match look like a 20-minute match at least.
Mm.
He ain't using the weapons, especially if it's Extreme Rules. He ain't using the weapons. He's just brawling. He's just
Right.
brawling. It's like a brawl. It's like a normal street fight,
Mm.
but without the weapons being involved. No one want to watch that. So I'm hoping the next time we go to New York for ECW and I have to fight for some type of title, even if it's non-title, I want to be able to exercise my favorite thing I like to do. I like to get extreme. I like to go high places. You know, that's just my desire. And I
Right.
know Marcus is sitting over there like, yeah, you kind of right. That match was shit. That shit was boring. It was just a fight. It was just a brawl.
I thought it was exciting because there was just so much excitement to see what the outcome is going to be. You know, is he going to beat him again? What's going to happen? This is more important because the title's on the line. You know what I mean? Nobody had beaten him for that C division title. You know,
I
he's
would have.
held.
I mean, it was exciting, but I would have liked it to be exciting. I would like the end result to be that every weapon that was used, tables, bodies were broken, and it came down to one finisher left in the chamber or one maneuver, like a final, like the final epic attack.
Yeah.
When everything has been used, you see tables, broken pieces of tables scattered throughout the ring, chairs bent backwards across the ring, look like a whole battleground. That looked like a whole battleground, and we just staring each other from across the ring, blood dripping, sweat running, exhaustion, and we both have that one move. Who's gonna hit it first? As this match has reached like 45 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
Not spamming hour though. Not using same moves or anything like that, but just we're going blow for blow that whole match. That and knowing me winning that match, knowing that I hit him with my finishing maneuver, that would have been more exciting to see because it would have been like no one's knowing who's gonna win. And it just happened to be Knicks who won throughout all that hardship, adversities, all that damage he took, all that blood he shed, sweat. He beat them, not just by choking the motherfucker out and just, you know. I'm glad I choked him out with his own chain. I'm glad I choked it out with his own chain. Well, not his own chain, was my chain, but you know.
Yeah. Your auntie or your
Yeah, the
grandmama
chain
chain.
from the gate. The chain from that gate.
Tell them about that story.
Ah, man, that's the chain that
Without
I
take
use.
without
The chain,
taking 26 minutes.
I
Go
won't.
ahead.
I won't take that long. The chain from that gate was the chain that my mom had. She used to. I think I told Nero this before too. But I guess I can go back to where that chain was first introduced. It was one time It was one time we had like a barbecue. Marcus know this. It was one time we had barbecue. I was younger, whatnot, and my mom told me I can't have any more barbecue. So
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay. I'm thinking like, and I was always watching her where she'll put the key at for the padlock. I'm like, okay, bet. So I went up to my mom's room and I got down in prone position. I got down in prone position, crawled up to that drawer and took the key out. And I snuck my way down the steps and into the kitchen. As I was trying to undo the chain off the door, off the refrigerator, the light cuts on. I look back and it's my mama. I'm like, oh shit. And she was like, I wasn't really asleep, right? I'm like, huh? Yeah, yeah, I saw you. I saw you when you took the key out, and I saw you and I followed you. I'm like, huh? If you want to, you don't have to, sneak around, steal barbecue out the refrigerator. You could have just asked. I mean, obviously you like that barbecue, right? I'm like, yeah, I did, but you could have just asked. So that's where the chain was introduced to the refrigerator, and it became. And then after she passed, uh, that chain, that was one of the many things I took from the old place that was played a big memory because that chain was utilized to chain up the refrigerator, chain up the gate, whatnot. But it meant something to me because like I had a funny moment, with the chain. So I thought by taking a piece of my mom with me into the fight against Shinden was a great way to go about. I'm happy that my girl carried that chain around her neck on the way out to the ring and then handed it and placed it in the plus spot where I know I can find it when it came down to me choking that son of a gun out. But I love that chain. I still have that chain too in my drawer somewhere.
With his blood on it.
Yep.
I believe you.
But yeah, I will always forever cherish my mom's memory because my mom was like, she was the best. It's been since 2000 since 2013 since she's been gone. I feel a little bad because I haven't really been able to visit her for Mother's Day, and it really like it makes me upset sometimes because I'm always being pulled away from different reasons, different stuff, different things. I'm not able to go see my mom's grave like that, and it bothers me a bit. So I want to go see her. I want to make it my mission to see her this month, regardless of how much time I may have or not. So, but I enjoyed that, and I dedicated that match. I know it's just a game. I know it's just a thing, but to me, it meant everything. It meant like this is a memory. I want to present this win to moms. Like I told myself, if I make it when, not if, not if, but when I make it to the MMA world and I become a full on champion, I'm dedicating my first amateur win to my mom.
Right.
And and I even said when I won my first JTV, because I think I was in JTV. No, no, no. I don't think I wasn't there that long. But I know that when I was gonna whatever championship I would have won in any league match, I was gonna devote I was gonna honor my mom with that legacy.
Right.
And then I have something special planned for whenever JTV comes back. That I'm gonna have a shirt made of my mom picture on the front and me holding that title, that Z Division Championship title. Maybe be a show opener or something like that. Just to bring some bit of like some memories. Like I want to bring my mom memory to the JTV. So I'm hoping I can do that.
I have no issue with it. I think it's a great idea. You dedicate great memories to your mom, who obviously made a huge impact, meant everything in your life. You and me both.
Hmm.
And I think that's fun. I think that's great. And I think it's great that you're speaking of her and you remember her and that you appreciate your mom. It's people who have different relationships with their mom listening to this, going to listen to this, that's going to go to somebody else, or they could be listening to this and there's somebody else in the same room and they're thinking about, their family members and whatnot, specifically their mom, might not have the best relationship with their mom. Um, I had mine was good and mine was bad, and in the end, I was able to fix it. Um, but Mom Dukes is always going to be Mom Dukes. They're just no matter what it is, no matter how much you may hate this person, no matter how much that person may have hurt you, if it's your mom, it's always gonna, she's always gonna be your mom. And our mom is still here. Our mom ain't going nowhere, Nix. They're just not with us right now. It's all it is. But we'll all be together eventually, and we have better days to look forward to. I can feel it that we have better days to look forward to. You know, people like us who try every day, who really want to care and give all to the people that we care about and love, there's got to be something better for us, and our mothers definitely still want that for us, um, that, I'm sure she's very, very proud of you, not just in JTV, but in life, everything that you've done, everything that you strive for. And,
I
I
do
hope,
want to. I don't mean to cut you off, but I do
yeah,
want to address a certain someone that is in
uh,
that is in this comment.
well,
This guy.
we're gonna get to the comments right now, but
Oh,
just
I want to get.
just closing out. God bless both of our moms, and this has been fantastic. So, who do you want to address in the comments?
I want to address this man known as no kills, no damage. Who is
Okay,
this guy?
okay, I know who that is. We'll get to no kills, no damage. Let's first answer some questions, man. All right. So Dan Rapture, I guess this question is for the both of y'all.
Okay,
Um,
I
do
like
you
that.
see? I like Dan too. Just a little bit, not a lot. But Dan asks, "Do you see yourself as the longest reigning C division champ?" Oh, it's for you. Do you see yourself as the longest reigning C division champion? Also, what other titles are on your radar, Jaden Nix?
Uh being the longest reigning Z Division champion.
That's what he asked. Yeah.
I mean, it's a goal. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
goal I want to achieve. I want to be able to be the longest reigning Z Division champion. If I keep up, keep training, keep practicing, keep winning matches, I'll eventually beat somebody's long recording streak.
Right.
I'm looking to go as long as I can. I'm looking to go as long as I can. I make no promises because I have my moments when I lose. I have my moments when I win. It all
Right.
depends on the days that I fight, you know?
Right.
So as for what other championships that are on my radar, the world heavyweight champion is one of them. I'm sorry, Marcus, for what I'm about to say next. I also want to try my hand with that hardcore championship.
Right.
I understand you didn't want to hear that. I get it. But
Yeah, go
I'm
sit
gonna let
down.
you go.
Go sit
I'm
down.
gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let you go first with the hardcore title. I ain't gonna take that moment. I'm just saying it's one of those titles that's on my radar
Yeah,
though.
yeah. No, it's not. We're gonna take that off your radar. Go ahead. We're gonna take that off
No,
your
no,
radar.
no. I want that title though.
Yeah,
No.
we taking it off your radar. We're not putting it on. We
Okay, I
taking it off.
understand. I get it. I understand. Show title, but I just wanna hold it. I want to be able to win it one time.
You want to hold a word? Let me hold the Z Division title.
Okay, okay, that's fine. You can hold. You hold the Z, and I hold the hardcore. Gotcha.
That's fine. You saying that here on the podcast, but every time I ask you when we not there, oh, you must be out your mind asking me to hold this.
Now,
about to beat.
if you my brother, I'm gonna share the load. I'm gonna share the wealth. I'm gonna expect you to share too.
You gonna share the wealth. All
Yeah,
right,
I'm
so let
sure.
me defend your title for you then.
Huh? Whoa, 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 whoa,
You
whoa,
sharing the
whoa,
wealth, right? Let me defend your
whoa,
title for you.
whoa, brother, whoa, whoa, whoa! You got too much dip on your
You
chip,
know, like
man.
baked beef.
You got too much dip on your chip. Wait a minute. Now I
Right,
said you can hold the title, not defend it for me. You going
right.
a little, yeah, yeah.
You see what you
Russ
started,
Walker
Dan?
wants to know if you like baked beans next.
I love
Mm-mm.
baked beans.
Okay,
I love barbecue baked
let,
beans.
let's stick with it. So, what other titles you might have interest or on your radar?
Who
Obviously, the
the
world
hell
championship.
is no kills and no damage? I want to know
Let
who this man
let
is.
let's just focus on the questions on the way out.
Okay,
Okay. All right.
okay. Any, what's the next question?
Well, I mean, obviously, the question was just about the championships, but
And then
I,
another championship I have another title I have on my mind is the tag team champions that we're currently going for.
right.
Hopefully, we get our. Did we get a shot yet, Marcus?
Yeah, I thought.
I think we did. I think we burned our shot.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, it. I think it's more than undisputed. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So that's another.
yeah.
Um, I do. Uh, the TV championship, I do have my eyes on it. Do
Yeah.
want to, I mean, because wasn't Mark Z Division and TV champion at one time? Or was that global?
No, I think Mark was total champion, and yeah, I think he was C division. I believe he had both of them, or was supposed to have both of them. And then he
So
came
I'm
back.
deaf. I like the name Z and TV. Jaden Two Belt.
The ZTV champion.
Yeah, that has a good ring to it. ZTV champion. You know what? I think I might have to call out Mark one of these days.
Mm.
Not no time soon, of course.
Well, I mean, you would have already earned a shot at Mark because you beat him at Pumpkin Night. You know, so it's within the record books that would technically make you a number one contender. You know,
So it
so
might be coming closer. Okay.
so
Okay.
anytime if I decide to book that match, he's earned it.
All
Okay,
right.
and now we know. But let me go ahead. So those are all the titles.
Yeah. Can I ask Marcus the same? What titles does he have? Can I ask Marcus the same question?
I mean, he can answer it.
Marcus, what titles do you have in mind that you want to win?
Mm, I think my answers are damn near the same as yours. TV title, somewhat. Tag team titles, the hardcore title, the Z Division title.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Gonna have a banger too.
Few titles to
Right,
talk.
right.
I don't like how you said right like that.
Yeah, we
Mm.
definitely gonna have a banger. Sure.
Dan Rapture also wanted to know where's the book, Marcus?
Oh shit.
Oh,
Damn, what have you done?
So, anyways, we probably
we
gonna
don't
have
talk
to
about.
we're probably gonna have to let that question go. Play this as someone interesting in the comments. But Chris Conscience wants to know if the three-way deadlock had their own match type, what would it be?
Lockdown. Duh. I'm calling it lockdown.
And what would lockdown consist of next?
Consist of? I'll let you pick all the weapons.
If I pick
Lockdown.
out the weapons, it's gonna be a very bloody match.
Okay, what will be the first weapons you'll pick?
Barbed wire bat.
Damn, nigga, you always trying to kill somebody. See that? See that? No, you're a dangerous worker.
We got
But
barbed wire bats. We got kendo sticks.
light
You know
bulb.
what? We got every weapon in the book that you can think of under that ring that I'm gonna use.
What about a taser? If they had that though. If they did.
Look, I may be a fan of New Jack, but I am not New Jack himself.
I didn't say nothing. I just didn't.
I
I
ain't
didn't
about
say
to
nothing.
say nobody in the match. I ain't say
I didn't say anything. I'm just saying, would you use a taser? That's all.
no, I will not use a taser. I will
No.
not use a taser.
You sure it wouldn't be like kind of that mask that he threw that one dude from I don't know how far up that nigga was. Nigga almost killed that man. Do that?
You talking about Vic Grimes when he threw Vic Grimes off the scaffolding?
Yeah.
Next question.
See that? He didn't deny it, y'all. He didn't deny it. He was thinking about it.
I do have another question here from Conscience. Conscience, um, here's a good way to plug yourself. Conscience wants to know what are your thoughts on his debut? What was Three-Way Deadlock's reaction to Third Eye debut? I guess better way of asking would be, I mean, what do you think? What do you think of his commentary, and what do you think of his work so far? You know, I mean, he's been
This commentary is phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. I mean, okay, the bomb.
You said it
God,
right.
God,
Phenomenal.
okay, yeah, phenomenal.
okay. So,
I
so
get
you like him
my
more.
favorite thing about Chris Conscious is he tells it like it is. It's truthful. Everything's true. I like an honest commentary.
Yeah,
I don't like goofing around, bullshitting. I like that honesty, like what you really think about the person. I also like the fact that he slapped the shit out of Will, but
Marcus Holloway is a great person.
oh, he's not a great person. He's a dangerous worker, but he's a dangerous worker. You not see this man kill people on an everyday basis?
Oh
But
no,
Here we go.
he's confessing. That's a confession.
but
He testified.
Chris
That's my
Conscious
foot up
is
his
indeed
ass.
one of the best to ever do it in terms of commentary. I hope he stays. I hope he's with JTV forever. And I hope he keeps slapping the shit out of Will Smith every time he gets a chance, because that's funny every time.
Really?
I mean, he slapped him so bad that he finally discovered who he was, I think, and start getting back on his movie shit.
But
And
I
now
mean,
we got Bad Boys coming out.
he's bringing more drama to himself though, because this has been going on for quite some time. It's going to be a matter of time before they get Conscience back, and I might not be there to help his ass. You know, if it gets real bad. You know. Um,
Just tell Will to meet me backstage if he attack Conscious. Just tell him to meet me backstage after that happens.
No, you will stay away
We
from
just
them.
gonna talk. Well, me
Yeah,
and Will gonna talk backstage. That's all.
I'm gonna have my hand on your shoulder. I'm gonna be right there with you.
that's if
That ain't gonna
Jada
stop
gives him
me from.
permission.
You said what?
Mm.
That's if
That's if
Jada
Jay
gives
gets some permission. You got a
she
point.
gives Will
Mm-mm.
permission. He need permission first before he could do all that shit. That's why Mr. Amazing's not here. Oh,
Oh no.
anyways, what's the next question? Shit, I wasn't scrolling up. Mark Bennett wants to know, what do y'all think is next, or what is next for the Three-Way Deadlock? Yeah, I can only speak for yourselves. Obviously, you can't speak for Amazing.
Yep.
Next
Like you say,
thing,
he's an absent father, you know. You know. But what's next for the three-way deadlock? From my perspective, definitely the tag team championship.
Right.
Definitely tag team. Beating the living beating the living beating the living shit out of Ryan Seal and Maddie. I'm looking forward to serving up some proverbial ass beating to them. I don't know about Marcus.
I'm ready. I'm ready to fight. I'm always ready to fight, and I'm definitely ready for them tag team titles.
Yeah, you
Don't
know
worry,
that
don't worry. I'll
that's
have the taste in the background for you though.
that'll be real sweet, a real sweet accomplishment for you guys to be able to get the tag belts, not just together, but you know, to get more gold on you when you already have a belt next, and for Marcus to get in there in the championship department, it's like that sounds good. But as a
Mhm.
fan, I'm conflicted because I want y'all to win, but at the same time, I want the brothers in arms to win. You know what I mean? Um, you guys have had a good back and forth. This is nothing new, but this match will be more important than any match y'all ever had in JTV, if that makes sense. Because of
Exactly.
the title's on the line, you know. So it makes me just think in my head because I could see the match in my head. I see a lot of speed and teamwork coming from them, and I see teamwork from y'all as well. But I see power from Marcus. I see speed from you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Trying to tap them out, trying to the super kick them, hitting them combos.
I have
You
a
know,
lot of new shit I'm bringing this year.
and I,
So
and I
stay tuned.
and I hear you. You know, but I see Ryan hitting them kicks. I see him using his feet a lot. I see him maybe going up. You know what I'm saying? I think they'll try to go up. The only time I see brothers in arms going up is when one of y'all are down. So I think they're going to try to take one of y'all out. And then there'll come a time when one of y'all alone, they'll try doing that tag team shit. They'll try doing that high flying shit, and they'll try
Mhm.
to put some of y'all away. So, but I can't picture in my head who wins. That's why I booked the match because I like it. I like the idea of I can't picture in my head who would win. Like I can't see y'all having the dominance over them, and I can't see them having the dominance over y'all neither. It's like it just seems like a balanced match, and that's what that excitement builds. So the back and forth that's going to be going on, I think it's probably like going to be like that one scene with the Avengers, assemble, both sides just going at it, you know. So I'm interested in that. I want to see how it turns out, and I'm hoping that it goes really, really good because the last time I wrote down a dream tag team match on paper, it wound up going simulated. Okay. So I'm really
Mhm.
hoping that this dream match, like I said, you guys have wrestled in the past in JTV 19. You both have beaten each other. But there is a such thing to have a rivalry with a group or one person to where you have many matches, but you have one match more important than all the matches y'all had together. You know what I mean? So that exists, and that type of shit it changes the whole perspective of whatever saga rivalry that y'all have. It changes everything because nothing that happened between y'all matters, just that moment. You know what I mean?
I do have an honest question for you, Kevin.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you? I have a dream match in mind. Mark, picture this: Marcus, me, not Mr. Amazing. Replace Mr. Amazing with Vardy versus Gorilla Cruz and Ryan and Matt Seal, and the 3v3 in the first ever war game match. What do you
I
think about
think
that?
that I think that's probably top tier God mode type shit. To have him and Body tag up against all four of you is just like that's got to be like an ultimate showdown match, and it might be an ultimate showdown main event. I think that's a great match, and
Because I feel like Marcus had his moment to tag with Vardy. Maybe I want to have a moment with Vardy one time.
mm-mm.
You know?
Against Marcus, huh?
No, no, not against Marcus. It will be Vardy, me, Marcus Holloway versus Gorilla Cruz and the Seals brothers in a
Oh shit,
3v3.
you talking about Barty's on y'all side against them?
Yeah.
That's you really teasing now, boy. You really teasing now with that match. I was already thinking about the three-way tag. We talking about a six-man tag, no? Right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh nah.
Just something I just want to think about it for a moment. Like, what would it be like to not have Mr. Amazing, but instead of Mr. Amazing, we got Vardy, Marcus, and me
Barty's that guy.
versus
He's that guy too. He's that guy.
that would be epic.
He's another one that's been doing his shit, proving himself. He's that type of guy.
What's
While
your
I
thought,
see
Marcus?
Vardy tagging with us for like
Uh-oh.
certain things, I've always seen me and Nick's tagging with the brothers in arms. Because I feel like me and Nick's, while we got beef with the brothers in arms, we also got a certain type of respect that we have for each other.
Yeah, I
Like
can see that.
we can beat the hell out of each other, but at the end of the day, all four of us, we could damn near be good friends.
Right.
Whenever they getting beat up and they need somebody to come help out, me and Nick's run down,
Oh shit.
getting beat up, hey, they can run down and help us out.
I like that.
Mm.
Like I see me and Nick's and the brothers in arms versus I almost said LOA, not LOA, fucking my
There,
bad.
here you go.
I see me and Nick's and the brothers in arms versus BKS in a War Games match, 4v4.
mm,
Hey,
mm.
best tag teams versus
I thought he was gonna say like Shendon, Cerberus, Gorilla Crew.
who would you want in that BKS match though? Who would you want?
You could throw Shen in there. You could
Uh,
If
throw
you would,
matter of fact,
is he
throw
gonna?
Shen in there and have Shen and Nick start off first.
mm.
Uh,
so he,
I don't.
so you could tap him out. I mean, what is it like a quick elimination?
I mean, he could tap
The
him
match,
out,
the
but the
only way,
match won't be
the only
over until all four of us get in the ring.
All hell has broken loose. That man's got a family. Son of my
the,
God.
and then basically we got the advantage. So Shin is being jumped by me and Marcus.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I like that.
All right. Briefly to the next question. No kills damage asked to ask y'all when y'all started wrestling. I feel like we've talked about that in this episode and previous videos, but maybe briefly we could run through that for when y'all started. What was that first game? I think
First,
I remember asking this. I remember asking this. It sounds like I've asked this. I remember Marcus saying something about like, "Here comes the pain," or am I wrong?
Yeah, my first wrestling games were Here Comes the Pain on PS2 and WrestleMania 19 on GameCube.
Good game. I like that one. WrestleMania 19 was fun. I liked on 19 they had that whatever it was called,
I had Revenge Mode where you
the revenge mode. Yeah,
had to go through a bunch of maps just to get the Vince McMahon at WrestleMania.
you throw a bunch of security like off a building or some shit to win that. I'm like,
Yeah,
yo, like, what the hell is this shit, bro? I remember I used to pick Goldberg, and I used to just love spearing it because he had the leather jacket on there. You had two different attires on there, and that one it looked nice when he came out. I like when Goldberg showed up on Raw and he speared The Rock. You know what I mean? At that time, we didn't realize like what we know now, but you know, the game was great. I enjoyed that one, and I enjoyed WrestleMania 18. I thought, I mean, I played 19 and because they were for GameCube, so I played those for GameCube. But I think it was only on GameCube if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember it being on Xbox and whatnot. It wasn't on no PlayStation. It was like on GameCube. He started out. He said on 19 and on Here Comes the Pain. It's a good time to get into wrestling, but by that time I had already had my Shawn Michaels face in the old JTV. So, what about you, next?
I
One,
started off around the very first SmackDown versus Raw when it came out with PS2, and went from there to '06,
yeah,
'07,
yeah.
and I believe 08, 09. I don't think there was an 08. Hold on.
But I mean, it was just really when
There
you
was an
started.
SVR08.
There was?
There was,
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't played that game in a while. That's probably why I don't remember.
But by that time, I had retired the first time. I stopped doing
09,
JTV.
2010, 2011, then all the way up to where we at now. Except
Yes,
I think I skipped the one that
I skipped 15. F that game.
I believe, yeah, I think I skipped 15. I don't think I was on 15. No, I don't think I even bought 15. So
All
yeah,
right.
I started off around them times. I wish Marcus probably might have to hook me up with them emulators because the
They're good.
stuff that I saw in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, throwing people out of helicopters and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what
Good
in
times.
this is murder.
Good times.
I'm like, I kind of want to relive those moments.
Right. I'm sure a lot of people in the comment section are reliving those moments as we bring that up, thinking about it, remembering those great memories. But the next question from Colin Klein, uh, he's asking both of you if you were going to add in extra members to three-way deadlock, who would you have in mind? Now I know what you guys are going to say. You know what I mean? The typical answer obviously is going to be common sense tells you you can't add members to the three-way deadlock. It doesn't make any sense unless it's somebody really, really close. You know what I mean? If it was up to me and I was fantasy booking, I'd probably put Jason Hudson or Uncle D or somebody like that in
You
the
read my
three-way
mind.
deadlock. Yeah, that's what I would have said. I can't
Mm-hmm.
picture anybody else that it would make sense. You know what I mean? To put in there, or should I say anyone that wants to be in JTV? Excuse me. So that's what I think. But if you was fantasy booking, if you get to call the shots and you had a supernatural power, the both of you, and you can book, you have the powers to be in control of JTV, and you can book fantasy the way you want to. Who would you in this JTV universe? Who would you put in your three-way deadline from both of you?
Want to go first, Marcus?
Have fun with it.
I mean, it's like Jay said. I can't think of anybody except for Jason Hudson and Uncle D.
I could think of
Like I always say, 3WD it's a brotherhood. You can't just add people in.
Yeah, that's not a faction. Not at all. That's like some Hardy Boy
We are
type shit.
brothers. Like you can't
Yeah.
just add people into the group and
Right.
expect it to have the same vibe. Like it has to be somebody that we all resonate with. Reason why we got Mr. Amazing.
You know he's
Right.
an active father right now. I mean, I only have one name in that comes to mind, only one. That's a female. And that'll be Airy.
Oh, to the three-way deadlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I did not think about that one. That makes sense.
A member part of the three-way deadlock will be Airy for sure.
Of course, you would say that. Of course.
Why not? You don't want the
You
idea?
know why you saying it. No, you know why you saying it.
What you mean, bro?
You know why you saying it, and I ain't gonna
Don't
get
you-
into it here.
What
You
you
know
mean?
why you saying it.
Hey, let's have some fun with this now. So, Marcus, what do you think about JTV Women's Wrestler Airy? Why don't you tell us what you really think about it, Marcus?
Yeah, tell us what you really think.
Tell us what you really think.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Go ahead. Oh, he's all getting all red in the face.
No.
Strawberry tomato Marcus Holloway. He's got a dark side and he's got a sweetheart side. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Tell us. What are your thoughts?
I got massive love for Airy.
Right.
I think she could become women's champion soon enough.
Well, I mean, she's been women's champion, remember? But
again, I think she become women's
yes.
champion again. Is what I mean by that.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I think she
Go
got the
ahead.
power to beat it. I almost said
Yeah,
Amber. I think she got the power to beat Sophia.
I think she's finding a way little by little to adapt to these girls. You know, she's been out of the game
Give
for
me
so
one
long.
second.
Yeah, she's adopted. She's adopting to the style of a lot of these girls that are out here doing it now. You know, compared to the time when she was around. You know, so she's finding her way around. She had a hell of a banger at the ECW show. You know, she's been having back to backs with it in the show she was at. She put on a performance at Pumpkin Night. So if there was any doubters, any skeptics that Ari wasn't going to be able to come back and apply herself to the new methods, you know, it didn't work out for you because she's done exactly that. You know, it's almost like an old baseball player, old athlete just coming back, you know, after being retired, and can they still do it? You know, when Michael Jordan went to, I think it was the Hornets or the Wizards, you know, like I was skeptical. And I remember that, you know, he wound up being on NBA Street 1, and I remember that. I remember it was special because I'm like, damn, MJ's back, bro. He's playing in the NBA. So it was a good feeling to see him come back and do his shit and play good and then retire, you know. And I think Aries kind of just at that stage. She's Michael Jordan back in the Wizards or Hornets, whatever it was, and she's just playing the best season she could play and just doing well. And um, sometimes you know, there's things you think you want to accomplish, and there's people who just won't believe in you and whatnot, and you might doubt yourself, which I'm sure is something that happens to Mark a lot of the time. You know, you might doubt yourself. You might look down at yourself a little bit, and there's times you feel in yourself and you believe in yourself and you have a good match. You know, but no matter all of that, when you work at something, you get better, you get good. Promos in the ring, at your character. When you work at something long enough that you study and then learn the formula of how it usually goes, the mechanism of that motion, you find a way. It's just like any one of us playing a game and then we can't finish the game. But after a while, you start noticing the boss, the final boss's uh movement, their motion, what they do, and you start looking for weak points. You know what I mean? And Aries at a point where like she's working these girls and she's looking for weak points. You know, she's learning the style of them, and when you keep at that, not too long after, you usually obtain what you're looking for. You
Mm.
know, I've seen a lot of people in JTV come in and they're greener than baby's diarrhea. And over time, they just keep working at it, working in the ring, working PvP, working at the promos, and they just get good. And they become one of y'all. They become somebody, you know, and they become some infamous JTV legend, you know. So I think she's doing great. You know, I think she's had a good season in 23, and I think she's gonna have a better season in 24. And you back with us, Marcus?
No, I think he stepped away.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna continue our questions here. I need to find another question. Um, what do you think this is Nick's fan? Okay. Um, and if y'all got any other questions in the comment section, keep tossing them. Keep tossing them questions as I'm looking at other questions here. See Division and beat Shannon 3 times. Did he? Yes. Um.
I just want to know who that man is.
Oh, that's a very
No
important figure.
kills, no
That's a
kills.
very that's a very dangerous man. I'll tell you right
Because,
now.
anyways, I've heard dangerous. Shen said he was dangerous. Look what happened. You know, that's
Yeah, I
why I don't
see.
believe the. You have to show me that you're dangerous. You can't just tell me. You just can't be out here saying, "Oh, I'm dangerous. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. I'm that." No, no, no. Show me. Show me. actions, please.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm ready.
Whoever this no kills, no damage is, I'm looking at him like he's a fucking joke. He ain't cut like that.
Oh no.
He don't got that dog in him. See, I got that dog in him. I got that dog. But he ain't built like that. He talking, he doing a lot of talking, but he ain't doing a lot of fighting. See, that he's probably one of those people that like to run their mouth, and then when it's time to fighting, right? He's the first one to get his ass beat inside that ring and be on some, man, you didn't beat me, you got lucky, and some shit like that. I'm like, bro, you was talking all that shit, talking all that big dog shit, and look what happened. Got your ass beat. Don't talk to me. Don't tease me. Don't tease me with a good time.
Right.
What are you, probably one hit wonders? One of those I'm a spammer type people. Is that what you are? No kills, no damage. Cause
hey, since you peep my interest, since I don't know who's gonna be my next guest on episode 4 of this show, I got an idea. I think I'll go on record and announce that episode 4, City of Impact, I think we're going to meet a very, very interesting character that I think the JTV world should have knew about, seeing as this individual helped create this universe with me. And I think that I'm going to go ahead and invite No Kills, No Damage right here to this show, episode 4, to find out exactly who he is.
I already have my guess. I'm just not going to share. I think I know who it is.
Oh, sure. Share with the class.
Okay, you said help build, right? Y'all have history, right?
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's the hardcore demon himself, Lowrider.
What?
I feel like it's the hardcore demon himself, Lowrider.
Really?
I feel like it's Lowrider, because if it is Lowrider,
well, Lowrider did do his part.
If it is the hardcore demon Lowrider himself, and he talking this reckless, that I'm a dog walker.
Oh, he's still listening too. He is listening. No kills, no damage.
I'm gonna dog walk him. If it is the hardcore demon himself, I'm a dog walk him. Period. There's no that's not competition to me. Period. He's just the guy that's there for Airy and puts on very good matches.
What are you trying to say?
Damn.
He's a guy that puts on good matches. He helped build the business. Oh, that's great.
Former world champion. He ushered in the Freak Show. You know, he built some of the early graphics for JTV. You know,
love it.
Side by side creative guy with me. You know,
I want to know what he's doing now.
Former hardcore champion. I mean, he's retired. That's what he's doing now. He's
retired.
He's got a Legends deal.
He looked like he'd been built. He looked like he'd been bulking up lately. You know, you seen him with Airy now. You know,
and that's right. It's called keeping healthy. Giancarlo Esposito and a lot of actors and celebrities do it. Yes, Nix. It's called keeping healthy. The man, you know, he's in great shape. You know, he's a JTV legend. His legacy precedes him. He is who he is and does what he does. You know,
but he is the guy. But this no kills, no damage.
You think Lowrider should be in the ring?
I mean,
he got maybe one match left in him.
You know? I feel like he got more than just one. I feel like he got a good year's worth, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Who knows?
Well, it's a whole new season. You know, if it is Lowrider,
I would like to see the hardcore demon back in the ring.
I'm inviting no kills, no limit. What does he call? No kills, no
No
damage.
kills, no
Hey,
damage, whatever.
special guest on the next episode of City of Impact, episode 4. If he's got the guts to come to this show, we can find out exactly who he is. He is.
Mm.
Or is it a she?
I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna be there for that.
Anything else?
Any other
Anything else?
questions?
If you guys got any other questions, we're about to wrap this thing up. Type in your questions right now or be at peace.
He said, "Oh, Nix, you have no idea. I don't give a damn who you are. You talking that reckless. I'm going
He
to."
said that?
I said, "Yeah, no kills, no damage." Said, "Oh, Nix, you have no idea. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn who or what you are. If you low, cool. I'm a dog walk your ass. If you somebody else that helped build the brand, you haven't been in this ring for I don't know how long, I'm still gonna dog walk your ass. That's a guarantee. Cause you talking hella reckless. You ain't built like this. You ain't cut like this. You ain't got that dog in you. You talking, you talking. But I'll tell you this. I'm gonna have some very big questions. When I find out who you are, I'm gonna have some big ass questions for you when you come on this show. Hell, maybe I might be in the bag waiting for you to come out, and I'm just gonna get in your face and talk that shit to you and see what you're gonna do. Probably gonna stand there like a little girl, piss your pants, and not come on the podcast.
I feel like I'm on GM mode. An instant robbery is building right before me.
Nah, ain't no robbery.
Oh man.
That's a slaughterhouse. I'm gonna slaughter this kid. Old man kid, whatever his name is. I don't give a damn. I'm about that life. I'll pull up. And dog walk your ass and then leave.
Called you baby wipes.
Baby wipes.
We're not cut from the same cloth. Keep that same energy.
He said baby wipes. I don't even know you. You calling me baby. You talking reckless. How about you? Man, meet me in the ring. Meet me in the ring. Enough talk. Meet me in the ring. Meet me on next year. I'll serve you up this big old L. How about that? Huh?
You two appear to be causing a bit of a rating spike here, but we're going to find out. You know, we're going to try to clear this thing out with this guy that's in the comment section. If he's got something to say, we're going to give him a mic, and we'll see if he has what it takes to step into this universe. We'll see what this man has to say since he's in the comment section running his mouth, to see if he's got the guts to show up here on this show, City of Impact, and speak his mind. We're going to find out what's on his mind. But in the meantime, I want to thank you. I want to thank Marcus Holloway, and I want to thank Mr. Amazing for not showing up. And I want to go ahead and close the show out. I want to thank everybody for listening and the support. Make sure you smash that like button and share this. And next episode, we're going to find out what homie's bringing to the table. But JTV is getting ready to come back. We are finalizing a show that we're putting together. So in a couple of days, probably going to get some big news. And with that, there's going to be some other big news because I have another announcement to make at some point in time. So definitely get ready for it. God bless y'all. The best of luck. Would love to have you back on the show. You know, when you guys put some more stuff together, maybe you get the tag team championships. Maybe something else happens along the way. You never know. So looking forward to inviting you back. I thank y'all for being guests on the show. And
no problem.
You know, this is us closing out. So signing off. Sayonara to everybody else. And we will catch you on the next episode of City of Impact, episode 4. Take care.
Everybody's fired.